Why is it showing me like that? The picture isn't showing. There we go. There it is. There I am. Am I crazy? Oh, looks like I got some. Who's it over on this side? I guess gray, a streak of gray hair. I don't know. It's coming out fast. You're saying that where a lot of times you lose your gray hair. There we go. That's really incredible. So this is me with my gobbles. I still haven't lost any weight yet. This is my end of my 8th week. 2 months I've been on carnivore. I haven't lost any weight. I didn't do it with keto either. After 4 months, finally I started to. I'm hoping I will start soon. I'd like to start dumping the plump. That would be nice. Let me see. I don't have my chat up. Why no chat? Why no chat? Top chat. There we go. Let me change it to live chat. Today is the 250th birthday of the United States Army. Pretty amazing. Ooh, getting dark outside. All of a sudden, clouds are covering the sun. It must be pretty thick. As you can see, still got the gobbles. I'm one of those people that put weight on all over my body, like my dad did. But I also found out this week that I've got insulin resistance. And one of the best ways to tell, among several, is to put your thumb on your shin and push hard for 30 seconds. And if it leaves an indent, mine did after 5 seconds, but I pulled it off as I go. But after 30 seconds, I even had my fingerprint embedded in my skin. It's not fat. It is the insulin resistance. It's retaining, I believe. It's kind of like, it's not edema. It's not edema, but it's, anyway, it shows that you've got insulin resistance. I have the rash on the back of my neck. I don't have any. They say that after a while you can also get like skin tags there, which will, if you've got skin tags, pretty good bet you've got insulin resistance. They could be anywhere. They could be under your arms. They could be on your eyes. I've seen people with them on the corners of their eyes, on their neck. I've seen them in different places on other people. But that's insulin resistance, which eventually, if you don't take care of it, will turn into type 2 diabetes. I think I've had insulin resistance for a long, long time and just didn't know that's the signs. Anyway, I thought the stuff on the back of my neck, I've got under my arms, under my bust line, along my legs, where the joint where the legs meet the body. I thought it was just residual psoriasis, because I had such a bad case of psoriasis. I thought maybe I'm just not taking enough, taking 50,000 units of D3 a day, but with K2, most of K2. But it wasn't going away, and I couldn't figure out what the heck it was. And I thought maybe the stuff on the back of my neck was from my shampoo, because I still got like psoriasis on my scalp. And I think actually it's tied in with the insulin resistance. But it's like the skin gets really dry, and I have to take a scrubby, one of those really harsh, like really sharp scrubby mitts, and I just scrub the crap out of here, and I get it down the front right here too. I get it here and under here, and I just take that thing and scrub really hard when I'm in the shower, and it gives me soft skin for a day. The next day when I take a shower, because I take a shower every other day, and yeah, don't judge me. I'm too lazy. Right now, I'm just too lazy to do it every day. But by then, the skin has grown. It's just a lot like psoriasis. The skin keeps growing in those places. And so you've got excess. And I think that's a big stress on the body, creating that skin. But I can actually go like this, and a layer of skin rolls off. It's like when you get a bad sunburn and your skin peels. It's the same thing, except it's rough. So I take the scrubby mitt and just scrub the tar out of me, and had no idea that was all insulin resistance signs. You can take a test, but the doctors don't like to give it because they don't know much about it. So they don't give the test. It's a fasting insulin test, and it's done in the morning. And I guess it's really hard to find a doctor that will do that. Oh, there's 5 people watching. Hello, how are you? Glad to see you out there. Whoever you're ghosting. I don't see anybody in the chat room yet, but I'm glad to see you out there. Hit that thumbs up button for me so people can see this stuff, because I'm doing this for myself, but because I want to see the difference as time goes by, the difference in myself, both mentally, physically, as I'm on carnivore. And like I said, I'm done with 2 months of it. I've been technically pretty sick for a long, long time. Um, this is my plate. I had my breakfast, which was steak cubes. Oh, so good for breakfast. Are you kidding me? I didn't feel like eating a lot this morning. I'll tell you what's going on is I was talking to Jill Kay, and I'm not losing weight. And the other night I went to bed and I couldn't sleep, which is weird. I've only had 2 nights in 2 months I wasn't able to sleep. I did eventually sleep, but it took long. I only had 2 hours, and but when I woke up, I was like I wasn't super groggy like I used to be when I wasn't doing carnivore. But I kept thinking, oh my God, if I ate another piece of meat with any fat on it, was the fat. It wasn't so much the meat, it was the fat. I was laying in bed thinking, oh, gaggy. Oh my gosh, just gag me. Ugh, fat. Yuck. I just didn't want it. And by the time I got up in the morning, I was kind of okay about it, but still it was just that revulsion. And I thought, and I was thinking, I don't know if I can do this past the 90-day mark. I was just like, oh, it was making me sick thinking about it. And I don't know if I can handle it. I just don't know if I can handle it. I knew I could make it through the next 30 days. I knew I could power through that because I'm very driven, super driven. Once I make a commitment, I think only once in my life I have not followed through. So I was very driven to do that. But the next day I was kind of okay. And I talked to Jill because I was getting kind of depressed about it. I was like, well, the same things. I noticed the major differences in myself within weeks, but then I've been doing keto for years and years. So it wasn't like a sudden, oh, ta-da, the angels singing and all that, because I hadn't been eating sugar. I mean, on rare occasion, like once every 2 months, I might buy something I shouldn't have and have a day when I eat like cream puffs or something. And then just put it aside and not do it again for a couple of months. That was the only time I was having crap I shouldn't eat. And I was trying to make it so that it wasn't like if I bought cupcakes, I would only eat the frosting because that's what I wanted. I wanted the frosting, which is stupid because I can make buttercream frosting that is carnivore, except for the sweetener I would put in it. But I just found out yesterday allulose is really good to help with insulin resistance. Allulose, of all things, which is a sweetener. Um, it was like, yay, that what the angels really did sing them. It was like, oh. So anyway, I had cut out coffee 3 or 4 weeks, probably 3 weeks ago. I'd cut out dairy 3 weeks ago. I cut out what else? I cut out stevia about 2 weeks ago, and I cut out eggs just a few days before, but I wasn't noticing any difference. I still felt the same. I didn't feel any better. I didn't feel any worse. I didn't notice any physical issues. And so I had a bit of yogurt Wednesday, that homemade El Ruderai yogurt, and didn't notice any difference after I ate it because I had that for supper, I think. I did. But also last week, I decided because I'd heard that fasting, a doctor talked about this, he said, have insulin problems. What really helps kick the insulin down is exercise, light exercise, not like jogging or running, just walking, like riding my bike. That's what I like to do is ride my bike. So riding bike is what I did in fasting. And if you're fasting in a fasted state and you do that, it helps push that insulin down really fast. Over time, you keep doing this. So I thought, okay, I'm going to fast once a week. I'm going to fast tomorrow. What I did is I ate at 4 o'clock was the last time I ate. And because you're eating meat and fat, you stay full a long time. Keeps you satiated. So I went to bed that night, still full, even after eating at 4 o'clock. I was doing good. And the next morning I got up and I thought, hey, I'm going to fast today. So I didn't eat. You can have water. And I hadn't been drinking coffee or anything. But so anyway, I did my fast and went to my sister's, and she's cooking. It was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 or 3, and she's cooking something which is totally not carnivore. She does the more plant-based route. So if she's a fatophobe, she's scared to death of eating any fat. So anyway, I'm saying I smell the food. It smelled pretty good, but I know my stomach, I was getting hungry, and I knew I looked at the clock, saying, I got to eat it around 4 o'clock. So I told her, I said, yeah, how come I never see you cooking until I'm fasting? Which was kind of funny. So anyway, I came home And around 3:30, I started cooking and figured out what I was going to eat. I had I think I had meat. I think I had beef. Pretty sure it was beef. And like I said, it kept me full before, so I had some beef to break my fast, and I felt good. Didn't notice any difference, of course. I don't know that you would, but I just decided to start doing that once a week to see if it helps push that insulin down because my belly is still fat. I haven't lost the gut. I've been gaining weight a little bit actually. So anyway, I talked to Jill and I was kind of depressed about, not depressed, but just kind of like, man, I'm so sad. Because, well, I have noticed my brain's cleared and my skin has cleared up a lot. I'm not burning. Like I said, I'm not, you can't see. I was out there 2 days ago in the sun. There's no burn there. There's no burn here or here. No burn at all. 2 days later, no burn. I didn't burn the day. I just, like, I had a tiny little pink spot right here and right here because I was running and before when I mowed the lawn with, because it's a zero turn mower. I'll tell you the story about that. What a dummy. Anyway, you have your arms like this, and generally the tops of your hands and your wrist will burn because you've got your hands like this, moving it around. So you've got high points. So your knuckles right here. And no burn. I've got a bit of a tan because you can see underneath I'm like a marshmallow. Underneath it's white and on top it's brown. So yeah, brown it up, which is good. Uh, uh anyway, so yeah, I'm not burning, but so I've got a clear mind. I'm very clear now. It took me probably a month before that clarity really kicked in. It's like, wow, for the most part, I can, if I think about something, I can add detail in my brain without having to struggle to find it. Um, People are saying that their eyesight clears up and gets better, which is nice. What else? Well, like this, the skin cleared up because I did have red. I had a lot of red right here, which probably apparently when I quit eating lettuce and uh, peppers and tomatoes, that's pretty much all I was eating. Oh, and I had salad dressing too, which had seed oil in it. So I didn't eat that anymore. But yeah, all that redness around here went away. And I think my face is cleared up. I gotta look in the feed to see. Yeah, it looks like I did. I cleared up, but I've still got the puffy. I've still got the weight all over. One of those people that my dad was the same way. It wasn't just a localized weight gain. To some degree it is, but for the most part, it's all over weight, which apparently is easier to get rid of. We'll see. So I'll be the judge of that. So yeah, my face is cleared up. It's softer. I do use a scrubby mitt on my face in the shower to get the dead skin cells off, which I've done for many years. But I noticed one of the first things when I started this was my forehead. I had this area here had really dry skin on it. Always had dry skin. I mean, even after I'd scrubbed all all that, and it's probably part of the uh, insulin resistance. I'm not sure. But anyway, it was be dry. And it's not like that anymore. It's soft. And I noticed this is probably 2 or 3 weeks, and I talked about this before. I started getting soft spots right here on my feet, and now all over. It's soft all over. So yeah, my skin's getting softer. That's probably all the fat. I've been taking EFAs. They said the doctors I listened to were saying that something that helps with insulin resistance. They said that 93% of Americans have insulin resistance and don't even know it. I think that was, don't quote me on that. They were saying that there are only 7% of Americans have a healthy metabolism. Think about that, folks. So what I'm talking about now, I'm hoping will help you make good decisions with what you're putting in your body. Because if you're pulling in toxins, and I have to believe that this is done on purpose. They know exactly what the toxins in our food are doing to people. It causes a massive stress on the body. If you're taking a little bit of strychnine every day, do you not think it's going to catch up with you at some point and tip you over the edge? And if you have stress, like I've had lifelong chronic stress, which has got me to be more ill, which I didn't realize I just knew I couldn't get rid of weight. And I had I had most of the symptoms of hypothyroid. Every time I find a symptom of hypothyroidism, I had it. And there were more than 2,000 symptoms of hypothyroidism. Well, the uh, cortisol from weakened adrenals from stress. If you have chronic stress, your adrenals are going to eventually get weak. You're going to be in the flight or fight mode, which I have been all my life. Um, I have to physically sometimes stop and feel, and I can feel everything tense, and my whole body's tense. And I have to mentally, okay, relax the shoulders, relax the gut, relax the legs, relax the feet, relax your arms and your neck. I have to physically think about doing that because my body automatically goes into that mode, which is super taxing on your adrenals. And your adrenals can only take so much. And they'll pump out the cortisol because it thinks that you're ready, you're under danger and you need to take off running or something to get away from the danger. So you're always in that tenseness, you're ready to spring. And that's how I've been most of my life. And I'm a type A on top of that. Yay. So the type A, I'm like zing, zing, zing everywhere, fast thinking, fast moving, all that stuff. Really messed with my health. And I searched for decades on what the heck was wrong with me, not knowing about the adrenals until about 25 years ago. But I finally figured it out after having doctors tell me it's just your adrenals. Now doctors don't learn about adrenals. Your doctor that you go to has no clue about adrenals. They're not trained that in college, which is one of the most important things they should be trained on, because almost all of your illnesses cascade from your adrenals, from overstimulation, from stress. How many people in the US after, especially after COVID, who's not stressed? What's going on now with the protests and everything that's going on? I mean, you're constantly having this bombardment of stressful issues. Then you're eating things that stress your body. I'd say probably 60% of your stress is coming from what you're putting in your mouth. Because when I started keto, first thing I noticed is all of a sudden I could handle stress like I've never been able to handle before. And all it was doing, I was just taking sugar and carbs out of my diet. That's all it was taking the sugar and the grain products, which I loved grain products. Man, I was like addicted. Like I told you before, I'd take like noodles, didn't matter what kind they were, and I'd boil them up, take them out, drain them, put butter and salt on them, and that was like a pig in a poke, man. I love that stuff. And I didn't eat a lot of it. I ate a bowl of it. Wasn't a lot. But sometimes that's what I had for supper. And I just loved it. I don't know why. I did. I think my body was craving the carbs. Not the only time I ever had fat. I hardly ever ate fat. Oh, fat makes fat. Can't be doing that. Find out that was a lie. That was a big lie. Huge lie. So eat the fats. Hi, Joe. My Wi-Fi keeps going out, but we'll try and stay on here. Oh, awesome. I'm glad you're here. Woo-hoo. I was just talking about you. Yeah, so I was going to get into that, but I just kind of dejected about the carnivore, thinking I wouldn't be able to do it. But after talking to Jill, because what's going on is I'm doing my carb. See if I can share my screen. Excuse me. I ate this a little while ago. I keep burping, which is odd. You shouldn't be burping on this. But anyway, so this is my carb. Let's see, my Fitness Pal. This is my Fitness Pal. And trying to get my calories up to 1,610 is, for me, is hard. I don't like to eat. And they say, oh, you'll get better at that's yesterday. For supper, I had, because I just don't want to eat anymore, I had a cup of yogurt with 2 tablespoons of cream, which I always mix in. But I had 2 Italian sausages from Costco. That was for when I got home to Spokane. I had this in the morning before I left. I had black coffee with 2 tablespoons of cream. I had, what do you call it? Scrambled eggs with 2 tablespoons of cream mixed in, 3 pieces of bacon, and 2 tablespoons of butter. With coffee. I've had the coffee and cream, 2 tablespoons of that. So anyway, I was having a problem eating everything I needed to eat. And I thought, I'm trying to do this the way you're supposed to do it, but it was such a chore. Every day was a struggle to eat enough calories. And Jill said, just eat when because I was eating and I wasn't hungry. I was still full from the previous meal. So she said, don't worry about it. Just eat what you can eat. And if you're not hungry, don't eat. And that was such a relief to hear that. So the third month, that's what I'm going to be doing. So last month, the first month I did it by the book. The second month, I cut out all the other things I wasn't supposed to be eating, and I cut out the eggs, or not eggs. I cut out the dairy. I cut out coffee, and then I cut out stevia. I just felt miserable. I just felt miserable. So I thought, well, I'll stick it out. And then yesterday I started eating the dairy. And because that's how I got my calories was through the dairy. I would use cream to bulk up my dairy or my intake. But it was such a chore. It was a horrible chore for me to do that. So Jill gave me permission, which was good. I got permission to am I still sharing? I don't know why it shows that I'm sharing. That's kind of weird. Brandy. It shouldn't be sharing. All right. Okay, I forget there's a big delay on this. So anyway, getting that permission to just eat when I'm hungry made it nice. I was just like, oh, okay, that's kind of stress that was taken off my shoulders. But I've been listening to, I went to Spokane yesterday, and I'm listening to the doctors talking about insulin resistance, that's why I'm not losing weight. It's the insulin resistance. If you've got high insulin, you're not going to lose weight. That's just the way it is. So I decided to, well, I got to work on the insulin resistance. I worked on my gut health. I worked on my digestion. So, uh-oh, did the video get lost? There it is. And now I'm working on the insulin resistance. So the doctors are saying, the one doctor said allulose is actually really good to knock down insulin resistance. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. So I don't have to worry about taking stevia, which I love stevia. It's so easy to use. But now, since I've got rid of it, that's one thing I am keeping out of my diet is stevia. When I went to Costco yesterday, I bought a flat, I think it's 24 cans of their sparkling water, which I don't necessarily like doing because sometimes they have fluoridation in their water. And so when you get these cans of anything liquid, you're drinking fluoride, right? But I thought, no, I've got to do this. I want to do this. So for a month, it's not going to kill me. And it's hot in the summertime, so I drink a lot of um, carbonation type things. Never with sugar. I don't do sugar. I was drinking Zevia, which is sweetened with stevia. So I thought, no, I'll do this. And I actually kind of like. They had a case of I think it was 13.50 or something for 24 cans, and it's lime, grapefruit, and lemon flavor. And I had a lemon one last night, and it's really good without any sweetener in it. It was so refreshing to have that. It's a really nice addition. So my numbers keep going up and down. People are probably wondering what's going on. Yes, I'm going to only eat when I'm hungry. So I'm trying to eat right after I get up. There's some people saying, well, you should just eat, wait or whatever. When I'm fasting, that's not going to happen. So I just figured I'll just fast one day a week and continue to exercise and do all that. And that'll be fine. I'm kind of experimenting month by month. The first month was doing it by the book. Second month was cutting out all the extraneous things, which made it so hard. I knew I wouldn't be able to do this long term if I didn't have options for fat. And you can only eat so much butter. I'm sorry, but there is only so much butter. And as like do a butter fast, the thought of it gags me. I wouldn't be able to probably do that. So anyway, so that was that month, last month. And I decided yesterday, nope, I'm going back on the dairy. I'd just be sparing with cheese because cheese causes problems, folks. What kind did I get? I got Costco, Kirkland Select, I think. I'll grab one because I have my ice machines hooked back up again. I spent a fortune on meat yesterday. I'll tell you guys about it in a minute. But I'll tell you what I do. Come on, shoe. My shoe wants to turn around. I'll grab a can real quick. Yes, it's Kirkland sparkling water. Yeah, you want to see my belly? It's my fat belly. Look at this. I have a 38, 40 bra, and this is where my belly's at. That has actually got bigger since I started carnivore. Ooh, Santa. I'm the female Santa Claus. That'll go down eventually. Which I will, I'll get my insulin resistance down because I did on keto. It happened on keto. I did lose weight. So my insulin resistance, look at that. Yeah, it's got bigger. It's got bigger than it was when I started. So you can see anytime you have a big belly like that, that's insulin resistance. Another huge sign of it. Huge sign. So this is the stuff I got. There's a big delay, so I'm probably a 30-second delay. But that's the Kirkland. It came in a case, 24. Oh, what kind of water? No, well, I got Costco meat. And I got Costco, their hamburger, I'm kind of bummed out, is 90 back before I did carnivore. It was like, oh yeah. Um, yeah, see how weak my arms are? I have to hold my arm up. Um, but that's the sparkling water I got. It's good. Yeah, it's got good flavor. I think they're just using oil. I think they're using grapefruit essential oils because you can consume those. The grapefruit, lemon, and lime are all essential oils. I can actually buy it and make my own. I just haven't. So, but anyway, it's good stuff. I like it. And I just put it ice and I pour it over the ice and it's yum yum. So what was I gonna say? Oh, the meat. I spent $500 on meat yesterday. But that's what I spent before. And I still have meat left from the last time, but I was worried about with all these. I thought, well, with all these protests, I didn't want, if Costco burnt down, I'd want to get my meat back. So I think that $500 will last me just about 3 months. Although especially now they'll be able to cut back on a meal. Now, well, one week day a week I won't be eating. So for 3 months, what's that? $160 a month for food. That's not bad. I got 4 quarts of cream, heavy cream, which went down. It was $12 a gallon, or not quarts. They're the half gallons. Um, they went from 13. They're down to 9.99 right now. Yay! So I got 4 of those, which is usually what I bought anyway, because I always have cream in my coffee. I started drinking coffee again. I was drinking decaf, and I was going to get some, but Costco didn't have it. The instant decaf, they didn't have any, so I didn't get it. Um, I bought 3 of the chuck roasts and they were about $38 a piece, which I think they were $6.99 a pound, which is pretty high. But and I was looking at ribs. Ribs are mostly bone that you don't eat, and they were like $10 a pound. I thought, are you kidding me? So anyway, I got these 3, and what I'll be doing, they're in the fridge right now, and I'll be slicing them up into steak sizes, serving portion sizes, wrapping them up in saran wrap and put them in the freezer. And then when I want to eat something, like I said, I can pull out, just figure out, okay, what I'm going to have tomorrow. And I'm going to have bacon and eggs probably, have that for breakfast usually. Excuse me. And then I just pull out the chunk of meat for my supper and let it thaw out in the fridge overnight, and I'm good to go. My dinner's all taken care of for the next day. I also bought 2 pork loins that are $5 off. Tomorrow might be the last day of that sale, but they were $20 a piece, and they're big. They're about 2.5 feet wide and about that big around. I can't remember what they were per pound, but they had $5 off. So each one was like 1990 or 1975, and I bought 2 of them. And I got $5 off each one, so $15 for that kind of meat. So I want to make my own. I want to make my own sausage. Uh, oh, did you? Yeah, that's a good idea, Jill. I thought, well, if they burn down Costco, at least I'll be set for the next 3 months. And I've got other meat in the freezer. I bought some chicken. I was going to get the skinless, boneless, but I didn't want to get the skinless. But that's all they had at Costco was either that or the bone in with skin, because I want to make some more. I made those little. It was in what was online for Courtney Luna. She made a macaroni and cheese, and it was made with chicken. She made it with chicken breast. Why is my hair? It's like I've got this really, see on this side. It looks, maybe it's just the way the light's sitting out. It looks all gray. Um, anyway, she made this. See, I never look at myself in the morning when I wash my face and at night when I brush my teeth. I don't look at myself. Well, in the morning, brush my teeth. But anyway, so yeah, it's weird to see things that I don't notice. So anyway, I made that and it turned out really good, except the chicken. It's chicken breast that you put in I chopped it up into little cubes like that, but she used uh, ground chicken that she bought already ground. It's like, I'm too cheap. I'm just going to buy breasts and I did that and it was so dry, but you put 2 breasts in the blender, you put, 2 eggs. She didn't put any salt in it, and it needed salt really bad. It was like dry with no salt. So I added salt, and I actually, when I made it the second time, I added 2 or 3 tablespoons of bacon fat. I thought it might help make it a little bit more moist. Didn't work. It was still dry. Well, anyway, I made these instead of boiling because you boil them. The recipe is from hers to boil them. You just take it, put it in a bag, and you squeeze out like a blob, like a tater tot, and you snip it off, snip it off, snip it off, and then into the boiling water. But I thought if I fry them, maybe it'll seal in some of the moisture. Didn't work. They were still dry. I gave them to my sister, and she goes, "Oh my God, those!" Because she didn't want to take them. I said, "Just take. I don't want to throw it away." I said, "Feed it to your dogs if you don't like it." I said, "I'm not going to eat it," because I gave her a bowl full of it. And she told me when I went to her house the other day, she goes, "That was so good. I love that." I said, "Oh my gosh, it was so dry." She goes, "I didn't even put anything on it." It was like overdone liver or egg yolks. Uh, just crumbly dry to me. I didn't like it, so, but she did. So awesome. I didn't have to waste it. So I bought the chicken thighs thinking I'll make them again with chicken thighs instead of um, the breast. And I bet I like them then because these are the type things you can take them. What she did, she made a cheese sauce, which I don't use cheddar. I don't like cheddar cheese. So I made the cheese sauce with Colby Jack and cream and butter, mixed it all up. You have to be quick with it because it can separate. You gotta be very careful with it. But I poured it over these chicken balls, and it was really good. You have the texture of the chicken, but I didn't mind it. It had good flavor as long as I did salt them pretty good. And I think I put a tiny bit of garlic powder in with them. But my ex took them home. He loved it. He said, you want some?" Because he does carnivore too. And he was, "Yeah, I'll take that." And he chomped down, and he went for seconds on that. So it was good. There are things you can make, and it's good. But I did that. I didn't buy any more chicken breasts. I'm going to try and make chicken pizza, or not chicken pizza, but chicken pizza crust apparently with something. And Bill said he made that and he really liked it. He says, "You got to do the pizza. You'll really like it." I've been hearing raves about her pizza, so I'll try that. No red sauce, but it'll have those seasonings. So let's see. So this month, what I plan on doing, I'm going to eat when I'm hungry. And even if it's late, which I don't want to do, I think on fast days, the day before, I won't eat after 4 o'clock. I'll make sure I eat enough that keeps me full. And then on fast days, I won't be eating after 4 so I can eat by 4. And then I'll shift back to eating when I'm hungry again for the rest of the week. But I want to do one day of fast a week until I get my insulin resistance knocked down. Yeah, you don't do chicken because of the dryness. Yeah, the thighs, the dark meat's all I ever liked anyway. I never liked white meat. Even on turkey, never like except if I put it in a sandwich, I could eat it with mayonnaise. It's the only way I could eat white meat turkey. So I'm gonna try it with the dark meat and I'll let you know how it goes. But, and that's to me it's more versatile anyway. So yeah, this coming month I'll be eating when I'm hungry. I'll be doing fasting once a week. So I'll be doing 4 days of fasting. I'm thinking about doing it on Sundays, but I'll probably just eat till 4 today and then do it on Sunday. Tomorrow I'll fast tomorrow because that's a good day to fast. It's we associate that with church and stuff, so I'll remember to pray and stuff. And that's what I'll do with that. What else am I going to do? Oh, yes, no, I'll try to make a point of riding because the other day I rode 8 miles and I didn't ride yesterday because I was in Spokane. The day before I didn't ride because after all this time I got my lawnmower back. Woohoo! Party, party, got my lawnmower back. Yes, finally. So I'm out riding it and it took me 2 hours to knock out about a tenth of my yard. Usually it takes about 2.5 hours to do the whole 2.5 acres. Even it's so high. It is literally 4 feet high. Which wasn't a problem. I just had to go over it 4 or 5 times to get like some of the grass, like the quack grass that's out there and any alfalfa, back and forth, back and forth. So anyway, it just took me a long time, but it was looking good. And I got right back out here, which I wanted to get the backyard done so I can spray off all of my patio furniture and get my patio set up. Didn't happen. I was running along the edge of the old greenhouse my mom put up, and because I think the blades were so much better and it caused a vacuum. I saw the corner of a tarp the second it was too late, and I didn't have time to even slam the PTO on the blades, and it sucked that tarp up, and oh my gosh, it got into the blades. I got off, and I'm trying to pull it out, and I was pulling, but it had wrapped it around 2 of the spindles apparently. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And they were probably hot too on top of it, so it probably melted to the spindles. Um, anyway, I hit it. I pulled most of it off, then I clipped off and chopped off everything that was outside of the deck. And I would pop the PTO, trying to thin it out, and a little bit came out. But and then I had to move it over to where there was nothing underneath the deck, because I don't want it messing with all the grass underneath and everything. So I took it over to a clear spot and tap, and got some more chunks out, and then it seized up tight. It's like, oh no. So I can't I've got to buy a deck lifter. I've got to find a little jack that will lift it up sideways so I can get under there and cut it off and get in there and rip it all out, which will be handy because then if I have to do an oil change, maybe I can do it myself. I don't know if I have to run it level up for that or not, but maybe you do that and take the plug out and then bring it back down and let it drain. I don't know, but to do an oil change or whatever, I might be able to do that myself now, because taking it to town, getting a trailer, dragging it to town, getting all that done, it's expensive too. So anyway, yeah, so my lawn is not mowed. But you know what? Just like when I'm on keto, I still would stress out somewhat, but I'm not like freaking out about it. I'm not totally freaked out. It's like I can handle the stress on that. So I was like, this is stupid. I thought, boy, doesn't it figure after waiting all this time, a year and a half, 2 years to get that thing running? And it cost a fortune too to get it fixed. It was $750 to get it fixed. It was like a brand new one. It's I think 3,000. So that was an expensive venture. But the center shaft was broke on it. They'd replaced that. They had to replace the cowling around it. He showed me the gears were stripped out. All kinds of bad things happened. But I have hit some rocks with it. But the deck sits up only so far, so there's not going to be any rocks like that I'm hitting. These were fairly small rocks I hit, but I think I ran over a piece of rebar, and I think that did pretty bad damage to it. And what else did I hit? I hit something else, and I think that tarp. I had a tarp run under it before, but I was able to get that one out. For some reason, this one's just nutty hard in there. I couldn't get it out. So I think that might have done something too. Hopefully, I didn't bust it up again. But I was pretty careful that I popped it and it's like, it's just seizing up. So I just stopped. So yeah, that was annoying. But I've got a weed eater. So now I got to teach myself how to use a weed eater again after 40 years and get out there. And I'll be cutting down some of the big stuff. I do want to get my patio cleaned off. It just looks like a dump out there. It's like a derelict lives there. So let's see. So yeah, I'll be letting you know how it works with the fasting. And the fasting, I tell you, on keto and on carnivore is so much easier. I did get hungry around 1 o'clock. That was after what, 21 hours. I got a little bit hungry. Wasn't like gnawing hungry, just a little bit hungry. I could tell I needed to eat. And by 4 o'clock, I was ready to eat. Now that it wasn't so dastardly that I couldn't do another day if I really wanted to, but with my thyroid issues, I kind of didn't want to stress my system that bad. Not eating helps clean things out. It gives your body some rest, but it also can stress you if you're really, really hungry and you're not eating. You're meant to eat. So I figured one day is enough. I've actually did 7 days once and literally almost killed me. My doctor just about killed me. Yes, me versus the lawnmower. For sure. Yeah, so anyway, I'm waiting to see what the next big drama is going to be. It always seems to happen. So let's see, what am I going to do? So I bought the meat. I bought 2 bags of shrimp at Costco. I get the frozen big bags. They have it at Walmart, but it's a lot cheaper at Costco to get it. And I trust Costco more. I got 2 bags of that. I got the cream. I got some unsalted butter. Let me show you guys. I made, because I like buttercream frosting. You may not, because I can have allulose. Think what the doctor's name was that did the allulose thing. I can't remember his name, but he said allulose helps drop your insulin resistance. He said it's like a sugar, but it's not. He said it's a unique sugar that actually, so insulin resistance. So this is what I made. It is, I whipped it good, so it's like fluffy, but it's basically vanilla buttercream frosting. This is how you make buttercream frosting. I always powder, I always powder my um, all my sugar type things, my substitutes, my erythritol, my allulose. I put it in a high-speed blender and I zip it a few times to make it like powdered, because otherwise you get gritty, grainy stuff. So yeah, so if I need extra fat, if my fat thing, so I want to keep my fat up fairly high for this month to see how I do with higher fat. I want to keep it at minimum of 70s. I had one day I was like 54 or something. I think that's way too low, but I want to do a minimum of 70% fat and see how I do. And if it's not working, I'll drop it down the next month, and the next month I might pop it way, way up. Some people are saying you need 80 to 90% fat. We'll find out. Oh, isn't that good, Jill? Yeah, I don't want to push the fasting. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. It's just, I put vanilla, I put, excuse me, allulose, and just whip the living daylights out of it. And I could put like orange cream or orange oil in here, even though it's not technically carnivore. The oil isn't going to cause any problems unless they're allergic to it. I could put orange oil, I could put lemon oil and give it a flavor besides vanilla, but I'm good with this for right now. If it's fluffy, I could frost a meat cake with this, but it's good. So I just had like a teaspoon of that, and I'll put that on my Fitness Pal. Where'd I put the lid? Now let's keep it in there. And I think covered, it will stay, it should last on your countertop. So it's always soft. If you want to, you can put it in the fridge and make what I'm going to do, because I'm like this, I'm stupid like this. I'm going to get, when I can dig my bedroom out, and I'm going to do a pastry bag with a decorative top on it, and just make little rosettes or something on a piece of parchment paper and put it in the fridge or freezer. And then when I want like a tablespoon, I can make them different sizes, teaspoon or tablespoon size. Just take one out and pop it, and it'll melt in your mouth. It'll melt in your mouth. It'll be so good. It'll be like candy. But yeah, but who was it? Doctor, I gotta find him. I'll pull it up so you guys can see it. I'll get a link for you. That he talked about the allulose, and it was towards the end of the talk that he did it. This guy. Okay, let me share. Because I was trying to find things to help with insulin resistance. This is an hour and 20 minutes long. It is worth every second. Even if you've already got your own insulin down, you'll find people that need this information. So this is Dr. Lustig. Now, he's not carnivore. And he didn't seem to have a problem. I think he's the one, I listened to 2 yesterday. I think he's the one that said he didn't find a problem with NutraSweet. And I'm thinking, yeah, there's a problem with that. It's very dangerous stuff, in my opinion. But he said the sugar substitutes, he said he didn't have a problem with them. But I found that some people will get higher insulin just by tasting anything sweet. Just a touch, no matter what the source is, it can spike their insulin. So, let's see, let me grab a link to this. So I thought that's why I decided to stop that's why I decided, there you go. That's why I decided to stop using stevia. And Dr. Berry said stevia makes them gain weight, which I thought was interesting. Yeah, I get my allulose off of Amazon just because it's convenient and I can't find it anyplace else. So that's Dr. Lustig. Let me go find. Oops, let me find the other one I played. So that's a good link for you guys if you're interested, because if you have a belly, you've got insulin resistance. Both doctors, I think, said that. And I listened to Dr. Boz. She's the one that talked about pushing your shin with your thumb for 30 seconds. You push your thumb on your shin really hard for 30 seconds. And if you leave a dent, she says your shin shouldn't have any fat on them. Shouldn't have any, she said it should be bone. And I could tell this by looking at mine. I don't have bone there. Okay, let me see history. I played this one last night on my show. Let me I guess I can pull it up. I'm just not going to play it.
Insulin is.
Yes, insulin is. I don't want to get a strike from YouTube. They're so picky about it. So this guy here, this is Dr. Ben Bickman. He was another one that was really good with the insulin information. I'll put the link out there for you. Yeah, the sweetener, the sweetener didn't bother me, but if it's going to spike my insulin, I don't want it. So, but he said, the one guy said the allulose helps drop insulin. So I thought, okay, it's kind of a damned if you do or damned if you don't type thing, but I figured, why not? I'm going to try allulose and just keep the stevia away for a while, because if the allulose helps wrangle your insulin, that's what I want. I'm going to try that for a while. See what happens. So yeah, those are both good links. One's an hour and 20 minutes, and one is I think like an 54 minutes. Oh, thank you, Jill. Good. Thank you. Yeah, it's good. And I'm so glad that I did keto first, because it's not, I mean, I've already knocked out the sugar stuff a long time ago and the grains. Just after a week, you guys, I'm telling you, if you do this, even on keto, after a week, you might have some cravings here and there, but with carnivore, you don't. I would have cravings now and then for something on keto, or it wasn't so much a craving as I'd see something, because I was using allulose and I was using erythritol. So I did have sweeteners and stevia. Excuse me. I was using sweeteners, the sweet taste things, but I still lost weight. It took me into the 5th month before I started losing weight. It took me that long for my insulin resistance. I got a cat hair on my nose or something. Took me that long to get my insulin under control. For some reason, even after being on keto, it's still taking me months to get my insulin down, which is really interesting. But anyway, the other night when I was so dejected, I was thinking, I got nowhere else to go. I'm not going to go back to eating food that makes me sick, which is grains and sugar. I don't miss sugar at all. Sugar is not something I even have the least. If some people take a teaspoon of sugar and eat it, no, I don't. Definitely not. I never was really tied up with sugar until I got stressed. When I started getting mega stressed, when my dad tried to keep him alive, and against his will, he was always trying to do stuff to cause problems. He was always trying to, it's like a little kid sabotaging your efforts to keep them well. Oh my gosh, 3 years of that, fighting to keep him alive. And finally one day I realized I can't do it. He won't, nope, he doesn't believe me. He doesn't want to listen to me. I realized, I remember driving home with him in the truck and thinking, I need to figure out what I'm going to wear to his funeral, because he's going to die. And like within weeks of just letting him do what he wanted to do and backing off, I remember thinking, oh boy, my mom's going to flip out. But I told her what happened and what my thoughts were. I said, he's going to die. We can't stop him. Because we tried so hard. We talked to the doctors. We tried getting him off his medicine. The doctors killed him, and nothing we could do about it. Because it's so stressful. It's like trying to push a rock uphill, and at some point you have to let it go and just get rolled over. And that's what happened. And that stress there caused my psoriasis. And then when he died, and then a bunch of other things happened after. Horrible things happened for a period of 6 years under constant. And that's when I got the psoriasis all over. Then that was a stress trying to find out because I knew there had to be a cure for it, even though doctors say there is no cure for psoriasis, but we don't know what causes it. And I thought, well, if you don't know what causes it, how do you know there's no cure? Then I realized they were lying, trying to cover their butts. And I went out and found a cure. Guess what? I don't have any psoriasis anymore. I'm cured. It was stress. And the stress depletes your zinc, your copper, your vitamin C, your EFAs, your vitamin D, big time sucks out the vitamin D. Bunch of all your nutrients, your magnesium, all that stuff, it sucks it all out. And your body starts sucking it out of your hair. What reserves you have in your hair? That's why your hair starts turning gray, because it's pulling nutrients. I had hair that I had just cut off last week. It was down past the front of my joint of my thighs. And 2 years ago, I didn't have gray hair, but I had hair that was that long that was gray. So it had been sucking the nutrients out of my hair, clear down to the tips of it. And apparently people are getting their dark hair back. I think Jill is. Oh, excuse me. So, but in that regard, your body starts repairing once you start putting these nutrients back. And beef has a lot of these, all the bees has good B vitamins in it. But I was also told, was that Dr. Boz said you need essential fatty acids. I think Dr. who was the last one I put up there, the bald guy, I think he talked about essential fatty acids too. He talked about certain nutrients you need to help with insulin resistance. Insulin resistance comes from stress. You stress, you eat crap food, because I would crave sugar. I would crave sweet stuff when I was stressed. And when I went on carnivore or keto, that was in 2000. I don't think my dad was still alive. I don't think he was. I think I started 2017 because he died in 2016. And I tried it for 4 months and I didn't lose weight. I was really disgusted. I was pissed off because I wanted to lose weight and everybody seemed to be just dropping weight like crazy on it and I couldn't. So I stopped for a few months, started again because I felt so crappy eating grain and eating sugar. Back then I had some, because like I said, I was craving sugar because all the stress I went through. And for some reason, when you're low in potassium, if you're craving sugar, you're low in potassium. So, which I learned years and years ago, but finding potassium is really hard. So I found, I make my own electrolyte mix now, and that's got potassium in it. It's been good so far. So anyway, yes, that causes these problems, and just stress alone will stimulate your liver to churn out glucose and cause a sugar, like a catastrophic failure to over. The more it does it, the worse it gets. So the belly fat, this belly fat is designed to protect your organs. Your body thinks you're under attack. So it wants to protect your guts, protect your guts. And so it builds fat there. But apparently that fat is, the body wants to get rid of it too. So when you finally do start getting your insulin down, it apparently leaves fairly quickly. I know when I was on, when I first started losing the weight on keto, I lost it pretty fast once it started going, but that was after 5 months. All of a sudden, whoop, it started going. But I noticed what kicked it back in. I started gaining weight last year and I couldn't figure out why, but I had so much going on. It's like I didn't have time to concentrate. It was when my cat died. So I disappeared. I don't know if he died. He's just gone. That was a massive, massive stress. And guess what happened? I started putting on weight. And that stress response, that cortisol coming out of the adrenals, cortisol, the your dark hair is coming back even on your eyebrows. Nice, yeah, because I've started getting. Oh, as a matter of fact, I've had a white eyebrow. That was a unibrow since I was a kid. Unibrow. Oh, PCOS is also a side effect. This is how I know that I've had insulin resistance forever. I had PCOS right out the chute. As soon as I got my periods, I had PCOS. It was right away. And it was just horrible. But PCOS in women is another thing. Of course, it's not in men. That's another sign of insulin resistance. So I think this most of my life without even knowing. And I used to eat fairly well back then. My mom didn't let us have sugar. So when I was still at home, I got PCOS, but it was stress. I had massive stress at home. I was an abused kid. So yeah, I had stress. Didn't eat sugar, but I had PCOS and stress. So anyway, that's something to be aware of how deadly stress can be, because the one doctor talked about is if you've got insulin resistance, eventually you will become type 2 diabetic. You will have heart problems, heart disease, heart problems. You'll get heart failure because you don't have enough B1. So I thought about Kerry. Kerry talked about he had congestive heart failure. Well, it's because he didn't have enough B1. But when you eat red meat, it's got B1 in it. So guess what happened? It reversed. That's why his congestive heart failure reversed, was because he was eating red meat. You'll also get kidney disease, apparently, liver problems. What else? He talked about the thing, cancer. You have insulin resistance long enough, you're going to get cancer. Well, I've had it since I was a kid, basically. And so that's to me, I heard that. I thought, okay, God's given me this stuff for a reason. It's all coming at once, and I'm able to do all this research and stuff, and it's really helping. And I'm doing this because I want to help you guys out there. If you've got a tummy, or you know somebody that does have a tummy, they've got different things like this. You want to keep them alive because obviously you wouldn't be around them if you didn't like them. So you must like them a little bit. Use my horrible experiences to help pave your way. I'm one of those people, I don't like to make mistakes. It's a waste of time because then you have to revamp everything. But I'd rather learn from other people's mistakes. So what are my mistakes? I've got decades of research and thyroid and all these things that the peripherals that I didn't understand were tied to the insulin resistance. All this time, I couldn't fix my thyroid. I tried the medicines. I tried a lot of things that didn't. It's the insulin resistance. Why now? Am I just finding out? Because it's time and I can help people. So I don't know if I told you guys, I did put in, God forbid it's an expensive class because I need to make money once I get it. But I put in for Dr. Barry's counseling. What do you call it? It's not counseling. Okay. What do you call it? I'm going to see. What is it called when you help other people? Anyway, I'm thirsty. Well, have I got anything in here? Put this in here yesterday. There's no ice in it. I took that Spokane with me thinking I might drink it, but I didn't have time. It's like counseling. I don't remember the name. Anyway, I put in for a class with him. It's a 6-month class, and it's like an accreditation. It's something all the carnivore doctors are doing now, and it's good for extra money for them. And they can't help everybody. You know, they have their shows and they have a lot of live stuff going on, and they have people asking questions. By the way, tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock my time, which is Pacific time, it'd be 11 o'clock on the East Coast. Dr. Berg does a live show, and you can get in his chat room and ask him questions or make comments. So anyway, I like to watch those on Mondays or Tuesdays. I think it is Dr. Barry has his show. So anyway, put in with him. I'm on the list to be considered to be in his class. And it's a very comprehensive class. They train you in probably physiology, health, is concerned with carnivore and keto. And they train you how to set up your business, how to do a website so that your business can be on the website. They train you to do all kinds of things. My link for Dr. Kill's health coaching will be ready next week. Oh, nice. Yay! Coaching. That's what it is, health coaching. I've put in with Dr. Barry to be a health coach. And I may put in with other doctors to do that too. Just so I'm accredited by several doctors. It's like a triple, what do you call it? Like a triple doctorate or something. Because Dr. Barry plans on doing quite an extensive test or class. And his wife is a nurse, and they'll both be doing this. And it's just information they've compiled over the years for their Robin. That's health coaching, to be a health coach. Now, I don't want to call her Holly. I want to call that girl Holly. I have a block against my sister. My sister's name's Kelly. Her name is Kelly, not Holly. Kelly Hogan. I signed up for a month on her to go on her thing where it's a Zoom call and you just go in there. It's $50. And she said between the 1st and the 20th, it's a lot cheaper, but it wasn't. It was still $50. And that's for 1 month. That's 4 meetings. It was about $12.50 a meeting to see what's going on in there. It's not until July. She fills up. She's got, I can't remember how many classes a month, and at $50 a pop, she's got a group of people in her Zoom. I don't know how many. It looks like she's got 20. $50 times 20. She does 3 different time zones. So it'll be like morning, noon, and evening, twice a week. So that's really good money coming in. And I need money. I've got things I got to get done around here. I just don't have the money for it. And I kept thinking I need an extra income. And I was talking to God about it. And I think maybe this is it. If I can suffer through the classes and have I know doing carnivore is going to help my thought processes. So I should be able to do this. He said it's going to be very extensive, and it's not going to be easy. He said there'd be homework. Homework. But I'm anxious to see because he said, well, we'll see who we can accept. I think with my background, with all the health stuff I do, I think he'll probably let me in that because and then I can advertise on my show. I can advertise on PSB if it's still around because the class won't be over until May or March of next year because it doesn't start until September. Hey, Pink Panther, you goofball, how you doing? This, yeah, Robin, it'll be like mentoring. It'll be like mentoring. No dings, K. Yeah. So anyway, that's and I'll be able to do that and help people, which is my thing. I mean, Fridays I've made into health days, but I've always been interested in health, and I'm always trying to help people with health stuff. And if I can help them have a better life, I'm all for it. So anyway, yeah, that's my plan. That's my plan. We'll see how it goes. I'm just worried about how much it's going to cost because all the stuff he says they're going to do, they're going to have show like probably how to make business cards, how to have a website. They're going to teach you how to do the website. They're going to teach you how to find clients. They're going to teach you. So it's not just a basic. This is what you do to help people with carnivore or keto. It's going to be more than that. I'm kind of looking forward to some of the scientific stuff. That's going to be kind of fun. But in the curriculum, I will be able to have probably forever. I can just print that out and have it on hand in case. But like right now, I'm researching. That's all I'm doing all day. I'm listening, not all day, but I'm listening. Like going to Spokane yesterday, I listened to both those doctors, and I like listening to those things more than once because there are those something you're processing one thing and they start with something else and you kind of miss it. So it's good to get listen to it more than once. And so I'm kind of researching anyway. I'm learning anyway on how things are done. So yeah, it's and people it's the I wanted to do this and see how I felt. So I've got let's see, May, June, July, August, September. So it'll be 5 months from the day I started carnivore, about thereabouts. So I have 3 months left before the class starts if I am selected to be in it, and I should know pretty well by then if I'm losing weight and if I'm feeling better because I do feel better when I've lost weight because it's not easy to be heavy. Packing, like I said, if you were I've got probably 65 pounds to lose. Let's see. Yeah, about 65 pounds. Can you imagine packing around a backpack with 65 pounds of concrete in it every day, every night? That's a lot of weight. Yeah, it does, Jill. And then each doctor will have highlights of things. And maybe uh, if you take one class, kind of like any college, they'll give you some credits for the other class you took and then not. It'd be nice if they would do that. It'd be nice if they networked at some point. But anyway, for right now, that's what I want to do. And it'll be his first classes that he teaches, and it should be fun. And we talked about meetups too, that they would have meetups and stuff like that, which is good because it will be like a doctor, it's kind of like a medical clinic with a president and then doctors underneath. Because basically, we're kind of working for him to help ease up his job of having all that responsibility of helping people get better. And instead of bugging him, they can bug me or bug somebody else. So it's not really bugging somebody, but yeah, everybody has questions. I think even people that are long-term carnivore or keto have questions. Yeah, it'll be interesting. But with Kelly Hogan, I don't know if I'll be there more than 1 month, but I thought by the time I'm there, I'll have got my 90 days of carnivore in. And I can tell you, the carnivore, I'm not even tempted to cheat. I'm just not. There's nothing. And like I said, it was probably because I already did keto. You lost 65 pounds? Wow. Yeah, because I look, my body is probably bigger than yours was when for the pictures I saw of you before and then after. Yeah, you look really good. Yeah, she's a little thing. She's a petite lady. Like all the guys love petite ladies. I think because petite ladies make the guys feel big and strong. But yeah, it's a lot of weight. And especially on your frame to lose 65 pounds. Wow. And no wonder your joints feel better. So how long was it before you noticed the nerve pain was gone, Jill? Yes, and I need to make money. And it's not, I'm thinking, man, making money and doing what I really enjoy, which is helping people feel better. I hate seeing people and animals in pain, especially if it's needless pain. I look at people that have nerve pain, and it's horrendous. Nerve pain is terrible. Have you ever hit your elbow? You smacked your funny bone? I've done it many times. Oh, oh. Can you imagine feeling like that all the time? Having a constant, oh boy. I've hit my elbow so hard that I actually had a buzz. Everything was buzzing like I electrified myself. Yeah, I'd like to make money. I think that, and what I thought about one of the nicest things is I'm not tied down. If I move to like Florida, I don't lose customers. I can still keep my customers and help them out because the longer you have somebody around you, you get to knowing what their problems are and what is helping. There's people that have been in the PSB chat that I've helped out with information I had, and they just had to try it. They just had to do it. But once they got that done, was it Remnant? He told me, he said last night that I saved his wife's life with the information I shared, which is awesome. 3 months for the nerve pain to go. Okay. Yeah, you're 4'11", same size as Bill's mom. She's 4'11". 3 months for the nerve pain to go. Okay, I got to tell Patty because she's, I don't know. I'm hoping she sails with this. I hope she is. Hope she's really. So I thought it was just a few weeks, but 3 months. She needs to stick with it. And I think she can. She's just got to decide. She's got to put her foot down and say, "I'm doing this. I am." Did you ever have a cheat day? I don't think you did because you were just eating meat. You were only doing meat and water, right, for a year and a half now. But for 3 months, I got to drink this. I got to just sitting here looking at me. I drink it. Um, if you start fasting a little, I think it could shorten the healing of the nerves. Yeah, I think so too. And Patty, where she's starting out, I wouldn't want her fasting for at least 2 months because her body's got to get used to and I have a feeling that Patty's gonna be one of those people that just immediately start seeing massive results. I just have that feeling with her that that's what's going to happen. So 24-hour fast sounds really horrible. It's like, oh my God, I'm not eating. Because what happens, a lot of people don't realize when you're doing a regular diet, like standard American diet, which has sugar and all that stuff, your body's running on glucose. The sugar and the carbs turn to glucose in your system, and that's what powers your body. So you're used to eating every 3 or 4 hours. Some people snack even. So your insulin levels are always high because your body doesn't have a chance to push them back down. Oh, uh-oh. Sorry about that. The bubblies were coming up out of the can for some reason. That's lime. That tastes really good. Anyway, people, once you get on keto and you get adjusted to not having the sugar, you're going to feel better after about 3 or 4 days. You're going to notice a big difference in how you feel not having sugar anymore and not having carbs, because the toxins that are in the product that you're eating, like macaroni or rice, those toxins start getting flushed out along with excess body. You hold water when you eat like that because your body, what happens when you slam your thumb? You break your thumb. What happens if you, like I did, what happens if you break a bone? Your body swells up. Well, what do you think happens when you're eating poison? You're literally, glyphosate is a poison. It's a carcinogen. And it's on your wheat. It's on your Cheerios. It's horrible. It's on your oatmeal. It's on everything. So you quit eating that stuff, and the poisons are taken out, your body starts draining that fluid out, and you lose a bunch of water weight. Like usually the first week, you can lose 3 to 5 pounds, maybe 7 pounds, depending how big you are. And that's not normal. You shouldn't be expecting that all through it, but initially you're going to lose water weight when you get off the toxins. And you're going to feel better. You're going to notice all the acid reflux goes away. That was a big one for me. That's the first thing I noticed. Wow, no more acid reflux. And I realized it was coming from the food. The food was destroying my stomach biome. It was allowing H. pylori to take over and causing acid reflux, which causes throat cancer eventually. Wow, what a good reason to stop eating the crap, huh? So yeah, I'd lay down at night and all the food would come up. I wasn't digesting. I would eat salad at 4 in the afternoon, and at 1 in the morning, I'm still burping it. it was just sitting in my stomach rotting because of all the toxins in the food that killed my stomach acid. How many people are on Tagamet or eating Tums? Now, what I would do if I got acid reflux, I'd take a teaspoon or two in water of apple cider vinegar and drink it. Boom, gone. If I get an ulcer, which I don't anymore, I would take silver hydrosol. Boom, gone. 6 minutes later, it's gone. I don't have it again until I eat something that's got the bug on it. It does that. No cheat days. Awesome. Water weight and inflammation goes right away immediately. Yes, the inflammation. The something else I noticed was my knuckles, all the arthritis in my knuckles, my hands, which it came on really fast, all went away. Because if I like say I went off a carnivore and ate sandwich made with regular bread, later on today, my knuckles would start hurting. My thumbs, literally in one day, will start dislocating right here. They'll literally pop out of joint. I remember having to go like this to pop them back in. It didn't hurt. It was just they were dislocated, which means the collagen was wearing out here. It was causing a collagen issue, probably eating it up. And so that went away. My hip, I've had hip pain off and on, especially when I walked, since I was in that, since I was 30, 31, 31. I was in a really bad snowmobile wreck and I was thrown way up in the air and came down on my hip on the ice. We were on ice and got a massive hematoma on my hip and all. And I didn't realize it, but I cracked my hip bone. May have broken it. I didn't realize it. I was always very strong, so my muscles held everything in place. But I had an X-ray about 4 years ago. And the doctor said, "Oh, you got a messed up hip here." He said, "That looks like," he said I had scoliosis, which I never had been diagnosed with before, but it came from that accident. And so when I'd walk, it could be anywhere from a few blocks to a couple miles, because I used to walk all the time. It would start hurting so bad I could hardly stand it. And sometimes, if I sat, I noticed that I wasn't able to lay, like I couldn't be cross-legged. And sometimes laying in bed, I'd lay with one knee off to the side bent. And I couldn't do that because right at the joint where my knee goes or my hip goes into my body, it hurt. It would really hurt. And last night I noticed it's not hurting. I can lay on either, even the hurt hip. I'm able to lay with my leg flat on the bed and it doesn't hurt. So it's eating up all of the inflammation. And you do get repair. Your body will repair cartilage and different things if it has the right nutrients to do that. And that was happening. Yes, that means you need more acid in your stomach, not less. And what do you think acid, what do you call it, Tagamet and antacids do? They make your situation worse. So you want, like apple cider vinegar works great. And you try a teaspoon in a glass of water, drink it down. And if that doesn't work, do it one. I've never had to use it more than twice in a row. It'll reacidify. But anyway, yeah. So I had my shoulders that both had surgery. I've noticed I'm able to put, you'll see me put my arms up like this. I wasn't able to do that because my shoulders were, and I can feel, I had, what was it, 18, I was in a wreck and I was holding on the steering wheel and my tendons snapped. I was rear-ended. My tendons from here and up here snapped and went down into my wrist, which I didn't know right away. I was holding on to things. I was just so, I was super, super strong when it was summertime and I was working. And both arms, this one I had more, but I ended up having a surgery where they they put a bunch of anchor hooks in my shoulder, titanium on both sides. It was all orthoscopic. At the time, it was considered exploratory or experimental surgery. But then they had to go down in my arm it went down the inside of my arm because everything was done through two holes, one in the front, one in the back. And went down with a hook and pulled those tendons back up and sewed them to these anchor hooks that were in my shoulder. They put some kind of a metal thing on them and sewed them up on both sides. So I had a lot of problems, and they would every once in a while they'd catch, and it would hurt, and I'd have to move my arm because I think some of the anchors. Well, some druggie beat me up one time and pulled some of these things. It messed up some of my shoulders a bit. But I've noticed I haven't had really too many, like, that kind of hurts a little bit. I can feel it right here. I can feel it pulling. But for the most part, things are repairing in that regard, which is good. But not having repairs is going to be hard on the body and more stresses. Yes, HPV. Even on even people that are doing active carnivore will do apple cider vinegar. And some people can get a little bit of acid reflux. I did for a short time. I had acid reflux with carnivore. I think it was about 5 or 6 weeks into it. So about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I remember laying down one night and I was having this stuff come up. And so I just went downstairs, had some apple cider vinegar and water. I think I had to do it 2 nights in a row, and I'm good. I haven't had a problem since. So these things are healing up within me. So my hip, especially, I'm noticing is a lot better shape. What else? Hmm. I don't know. I do have inside my ears is trying to clear up. I've had and my sinuses. I think that's all part of the uh, high insulin stuff. I'm looking forward to that going away because I still have problems like around my ears. I've got dry skin. And I'll take a shower, scrub everything down, and the next day I've got dry skin in these certain areas here and under my arms, like I said, here, my legs, and the back of my neck, and that's all insulin resistant. So I'm looking forward to getting a few more fasting days under my belt, and I think that stuff will hopefully go away because I came up about the same time. What was it? Let's see, probably 8 years. That was shortly after I started my keto stuff. Let me think. No, it was really 5 years ago I started getting that. The sign of dietary change that it goes away. Yeah, mine, I had to, excuse me, I had to take the apple cider vinegar. You may not have to do that if you do carnivore, but at least, excuse me, at least you know there's something available for that. So if you have the problem, even if you're not doing carnivore keto, apple cider vinegar in water is good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. So let's see what else. So my next month will be I'm going to watch my fat, keep my fat stable, but I'm going to be doing my things to do with old, dairy, no dairy. But like I said, if I had to quit dairy and all that stuff, I probably couldn't sustain carnivore that well. I'd have to go back to keto, which stress on keto, I mean, I still, like I said, I gained weight on keto because of the stress. My diet didn't change. As a matter of fact, I think I was eating even less because I was an undereater, severe undereater. This diet is getting me used to eating at least. I'm knowing now what maintenance calories and what a maintenance meal is for me. Or before, I didn't know. 600 to 800 calories a day is what I was eating, and I was full. I mean, I didn't. That's all I wanted. And there were days when I only ate once a day. Intermittent fasting. Well, if you're an undereater, that's something they don't tell you on ketos. If you're an undereater, a chronic undereater, like I have been all my life, I just really don't like to eat all that much. I've said for years, if you just give me a pill that will fill me up, I'd be happy with that. Just give me a pill. I would have been perfectly happy. But I like food. I mean, it's okay. Certain foods I like more than others. I love steak. I love have, but still, like I could get more done if I wasn't eating. Get more done if I wasn't having to fix food. So or clean up after it. Um, Castor oil. Yeah, I've been doing that for a long time. Castor oil. I don't like the drag. The castor oil I get is a pretty high quality. And I've been thinking, because I have a dropper bottle that I've had for a long time. I just take droppers of it, put it in my hands, put it there. Sometimes I'll put it around wherever I had these skin problems, which it wasn't helping. Um, Now that I know what it is, of course it wouldn't help. Like right now, I keep raising my shoulders because under here where I have an underwire on, and it's aggravating that area. It drives me crazy. But itching, I'm itching all the time from it. And God, I wish I'd known this years ago about the high insulin. Now is the time I was to find out. There's a reason God has for everything. And this is the time I had to find out about it. So I can help other people, apparently. But yeah, I'm thinking about mixing it with some argan oil because that's a thin oil that's really good for your skin. But I'm thinking about mixing it a little bit with argan oil, and that should thin it down enough that I can apply it. Because otherwise, it's like literally dragging. It's super thick. It's like thicker than motor oil, the stuff I've got, and it's just too draggy on my skin. I don't like, and it stays on my skin a long time. It makes it soft. And it does help with getting rid of stuff. And I'm starting to get some fine lines and stuff. But the thing I've noticed in the last, since my cat died or disappeared, my aging has kicked into high gear. The, what do you call it? Oh, my mitochondria has been severely affected from that stress. I mean, I was mourning that poor little pig for a long time. Till the last, thanks, since I started carnivore, it's finally got to where it's not. I mean, every time I think about it, I was just like, oh, that poor thing. I was so upset. And I was thinking about him constantly. I have things all over the house that remind me of him. Um, but it was very traumatic for me. And that's when I didn't even put it together until about a week ago. So that's where the weight gain came from. That's where, because I just noticed it yesterday. I've got these lines going this way in my face. So out of nowhere, suddenly, poof, there they are. And I've got this stuff here. My face is sagging. This is all good. Back to the set. I know that the carnivore will help suck all that stuff up. It does help firm up your skin, helps with all kinds of stuff like that. But yeah, the rapid aging, and that's a sign of high insulin. So it must have gotten really, really high. I'm afraid to even know what it is right now. Uh, oh, my stuff spreads well. It's just thick and it leaves it super draggy. But I wash my face with a wash. Oh, get this. This is something else I haven't talked about. Until I started doing keto and got really consistent with it, and even then a little bit, I will use white washcloths. And every morning and every night, I get it as hot as I can stand it, and I scrub my face with it. So I couldn't use soap because my skin would peel and dry out. Even my homemade glycerin soap, some of it I could use. I could use a facial bar that I made that had lots of shea butter in it, but I just didn't like to. But you get that tight, dry feeling. So, but not from that soap. I had a good facial soap I made. But anyway, I would use a hot wash rag and just scrub my face and around my neck, get all that scrubbed out. And it would feel so good. I'd always hold it over my eyes for a while. My wash rags, I'll have to pull them out and show you. My wash rags started turning dark gray. And you can see where I used it the most on my skin. It was very dark gray. And I thought, what the heck is this? So I tried to bleach it. Bleach wouldn't work. I tried OxyClean. Nothing would take that out of the wash rag. And I realized it had to have been some kind of metal, because metal won't bleach. Some kind of toxin coming out of my skin that was really, really bad. But I'm going to try experiments with just using brand new ones and see if I'm still doing. I don't think I am. My towels also. I mean, if you think about it, you don't use a towel until you've scrubbed everything. You scrubbed everything down, and you're all squeaky clean. And still, my towels were turning gray from touching my skin. And if my fingers touched raw onion, like I would chop it up. I was really careful not to touch the onion. But if a couple pieces fell off the cutting board and I had to throw them away, I'd pick them up and throw them in the garbage. And these would be minced, teeny, like 3 little minced pieces. I would get that onion smell would go through my whole body. And if I washed my face with a wash rag, it would smell like onions. Even after I showered and then dried off, my towel, I'd have to throw it in dirty clothes because it smelled like onions. And it would do that for 2 or 3 days, just from touching 2 or 3 little pieces of onion, or even just scooting it on the blade really quick and going and washing my hands. I would have this gross raw onion smell coming out of my skin, and I'd never have liked raw onions. They both gag me. Ugh. Yeah, the smell would almost make me puke. Use tallow soap. Yeah, well, the it doesn't do a lot. I mean, certain oils will give certain different qualities of soap. I've been making soap for about 40 years, and I've used just about every kind of oil there is. Just the ponification process, the lye, destroys anything in the oils. You might have an extra emollient, like from cocoa butter, that will make the soap more emollient, so it'll make a little bit more bubbles. It will make it softer on your skin. So when I left it out, people noticed. Um, but tallow, lard, certain soaps will stink too. If it's pure, like Castile soap, which is just one oil and the lye, usually they're slimy. a true Castile bar is made with olive oil. It's the first soap I ever made. It was the grossest stuff, but it was a pure and true Castile soap, just olive oil. It was slimy and it was hard to get off your. Oh, ugh. I never made it again. Plus, the bar shrunk up so teeny tiny. But I did use olive oil in my soap. I used olive oil. I used coconut oil, which gives it bubbles. I used cocoa butter, shea butter. I use stuff like that. But the lye will eat through, and it's very hard to get anything to come through that process that's harmful unless it is a chemical. And I didn't use any hexane oils. They used hexane to extract oils. I used expeller pressed, which means it was pressed and then it was processed to get the, like coconut oil that I use is pressed out of the coconut and then put in a vat of water, and the oils will rise up and it ferments. And the coconut oil I have is fermented, and all the water, the chemicals, if there are any, mine's all organic, but anything in there that shouldn't be there drops out into the water, and you've got pure coconut oil. So it's very pure. You know, it's really weird. I've never had to use deodorant ever. And I don't sweat. Well, that's part of it because having the severe thyroid problems I had, which is adrenal stress things, I just never sweat. I could go out like I remember one time I was at an exercise place and I was on a exercise bike, and I decided because I used to have, like I said, I had a lot of drive. I didn't have energy, but I had a lot of drive. When I made up my mind to do something, I would do it. And I got on this exercise bike, and there was a guy lifting weights across from me, only two in there. And I'm riding my bike as fast as I can, my exercise bike, and I've got my hands are on the handlebars. And after about a half hour, I could see that there was a little bit of sweat on the tops of each of these knuckles right here, but I wasn't sweating anywhere else, nowhere else. And the guy comes up to me and he says, "How are you not sweating?" He says, "I've never seen anything like this before." He says, "You don't have sweat." I said, "Give me 15 minutes and I will start sweating profusely. Start getting hot, I'll start sweating." And I found out my friend was actually watching a TV show. She goes, "That's a thyroid symptom." Yeah, it's a thyroid symptom. I never sweat. Um, but the extreme exertion like that, I would, but it took my body 15 minutes. And I said, "Oh, if you work out like that, you work out, you won't get hungry." It's like, wrong. I'd walk up and down the mountain here, which is, I'm at 1,400 feet and it's a 3,800-foot mountain. I would walk up it and back down as fast as I could. There are areas that were so steep. There's a road. It's so steep that your feet would actually slide on the rock. This is a dirt road. They're like skiing down the side. I would do that in like 42 minutes, 45 minutes. I'd get down off the hill, not sweating. I'd come home. So I had to drive home because it was a mile to my house. I'd hop in the car and drive home, sit there. Sometimes I drink water, usually not. And then after about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I'd start sweating. And yeah, that delayed response is a thyroid issue. That's a stress issue. I was still working back then. Hey, Teresa, good to see you too. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, but I did never have that. I never had the toxins. I never had the dark washcloths until 8 years when the severe stress started happening with my dad. And that was on keto. I was still having, so maybe it had been resident. And I had taken chelation treatments. I did, I think, a series of 12. It was pretty expensive. I think it was $100 a pop. But I did chelation treatments, and that's supposed to leach out all the heavy metals and everything. I must have had a lot of them. I don't know. I had my mercury fillings taken out about 20 some years ago. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's good to see you, Teresa, many moons ago. So anyway, yeah, what I'm doing here is I'm doing a carnivore. I'm doing thanks to Jill and my boyfriend, I guess. And I'm just kind of doing a updates. This was more of a video diary I'm doing to remind myself what I looked like before. I'm still looking the same, still frazzled looking. That's fine. Today ends my 8th week, and tomorrow starts my 9th. And I want to have visual. I'm not good at keeping diaries. I hate you. Yeah, I'm still inconsistent with that stuff. I can't. I make notes and they're all over the place. there's a note here. That's my electrolyte mix recipe. I've got my note here was from, I don't know when that's from. Oh, that's a long time ago. Years ago. I pulled it out for some reason. Oh, because I wrote my lawnmower notes on it. But yeah, I'm really terrible about that stuff. And so I don't like doing a literal book of diary. So I figured this is better. I can help people or I can let them see what I'm going through. And I'm probably a worst case scenario. Um, I'm probably one of the maybe what do you think, Jill? 10%, maybe less of people who don't get immediate weight loss when they do carnivore. Although they say a month, it takes a month, and then your body adjusts, and then you should start losing weight. That's what Dr. Wright says. Elizabeth Bright, not Wright, Bright. She said it takes a month for the endocrine system to catch up with what you're doing. Well, it's been 2 months for me, and it's still not happening. Although my initial good results were a little bit of skin reaction here disappeared, clearer memory, way clearer memory. What else was it? Clearer memory, can't remember. Something else. Oh, sleep. First week. I think it was the second or third day. I think it was the second day, man. I was sleeping like a baby, like I've never slept before. So good. In 2 months, I've only had 2 nights where I didn't sleep. And even then, I still had a couple hours of sleep. But I feel better even without the sleep. I wake up and I'm not all dizzy. I'm not all goofy. Although 2 days ago, I got up and I had vertigo really bad. I was like that. I was like, wow, why am I so dizzy? I came downstairs. Every time I get up, I'm like, oh, I'm dizzy. And I thought, oh, I haven't been drinking electrolytes. So I drank my electrolytes and it went away. So I was low in probably potassium. 10%, yeah, but have problems losing weight on this. And I think if you're having a problem losing, because I want to bust that, I want to break that. If you're not losing weight, there are people that have been on this for a year and haven't lost weight. Guess what? It's your insulin. Because most doctors that I've seen, other than those two separate doctors, and one of them doesn't, I don't think either one of them does carnivore. One of them is saying, oh, eat more plants. So I know he's not carnivore, but he had the answers for the insulin. And Dr. Bosworth, she was like, if you have tummy, you got insulin resistance. There's no, and then both those doctors said the same thing. If you got a gut, you got insulin resistance. Dead giveaway. There's no guessing. So these people that aren't losing weight on carnivore isn't enough. So, I think that Courtney's husband? No, it's not Courtney. It's the other gal, the dark-haired gal. Her husband is having to fast 2 weeks a month to lose weight. And I'm thinking, no, it can't be that hard. So he's literally not eating for half a year, every year. Are you kidding me? There's something else going on with him. That is like freaking. If that was me, screw it. I'll be fat. I don't care. There's no way I would fast 2 weeks out of a month. I think it's extremely hard on the body. That's my opinion, but no freaking way. So I'm going to bust up with the once I think I'm going to do that. Like I said, 1 week or 1 day a week, I'm going to fast, and I'm going to exercise. It sounds like her poor husband. I feel so bad for him, but there's something else. I think there's going to be a key that just needs to be turned, and bingo, it will work. I have a feeling. I just can't imagine it being that hard for somebody. That it's going against how the body is actually designed to work. So anyway, that's a stress thing. The stress is the biggest thing, and the stress in the food. And I'll bet you he's stressed at something else. Maybe that's what it is. It's the stress at work because he's still working age. He's got something else stressing him out, and it could be an illness. I don't know. I cannot lose weight. I try and try and try. I just want to give up, but I can't. I've got the middle-aged spread now, and I don't know what to do. It's so hard. I get so upset. And I am right there with you, Teresa. I am 100% with you. That's when I first started keto, it was to lose weight. And I was on it for 4 months. And Dr. Berg, I worked with Dr. Berg on this. I don't know if you know who he is. One meal, no, you're probably not eating enough, Teresa. That's something I learned. And thank you. Jill Kay helped me do this. Bill told me I'd seen carnivore floating around. If you're doing keto and you go on YouTube to look for recipes or to learn more, carnivore is gonna pop up in the peripherals. And I'd seen it popping up for a couple of years. And I kept thinking, oh, it's unsustainable. You can't do that because you got to have your nutrients from your greens and all this stuff. And it wasn't until maybe 6 months ago, I can't remember how long, it wasn't that long ago. I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute, because I used to think this before. How do they do it? A long time ago, I wondered how they did it. Eskimos didn't eat greens. They only ate meat and fat, and they didn't die. As soon as that popped in my head, that must have been a God thing. Thank you, Lord. Um, as soon as that popped in my head, it's like the light bulb came on. It's like, oh, I can do carnivore then. Because I'm thinking, I don't, carnivores, people are doing it for years. I remember Kelly Hogan's picture kept popping up. Woman lives on 15 years just eating meat. And I thought, oh, really? I remember thinking that was so weird. What a horrible diet to have. I remember thinking how bad it was. It's not that bad, guys, I got to tell you. But I kept seeing it popping up here and there, and then more and more of it came up as time was going by. And then Bill told me I think it was February, he says, yeah, he says, I'm doing carnivore. And I said, really? Because he wouldn't do keto with me. It's like, nah. He did do something else a long time ago with me and my dad. But no, he wouldn't do keto with me. He watched me do it. And I was under a lot of stress when I was around him. After we broke up, a lot of the stress went away, but then I got it back with my mom and dad and all that stuff. But the stress is what was causing the problems for me, which I didn't understand at first. But when I did keto, the first 4 months I did it, no, nothing went away. Dr. Berg was baffled. Didn't know why, because everybody else was losing. He had one other person out of all the hundreds of patients he had, maybe thousands, that couldn't lose weight on it, and he couldn't figure it out. He said, well, just eat less and have salad. Now, this is a long time ago. This was in 2017. Might have been 2016, but I think it was 2017. And he told me that, and I'm like, if that worked, I'd have been skinny. I'd have lost weight a long time ago. What do you think? I was just really pissed off at him, but he didn't know. He didn't understand. And there are always some people who are outside of the norm, and I've always been one of those. So I went off of it for a few months, and then I just felt so rotten because I went back to eating hamburgers with the buns, not knowing. I thought, well, if I just eat a little bit, just a little bit of the fries and a little bit of the hamburger, didn't matter. I was blowing up. I blew up. Well, I'm 198 pounds right now. I bought a scale just to see, because I want to make sure that my macro, I do a macro thing, which I can explain. I want to make sure my weight was on target for my calories per day. Most people don't count calories on carnivore. So anyway, I probably weighed maybe close to 240 pounds. I was huge. I mean, I'm big now, but this top here was tight. It was tight on me. My belly showed through on it when I stood up. But I went back on keto, not expecting to lose weight at all. And around 5th month, I didn't realize I was losing weight. I just finally, my body said, okay, we're going to do this. No, did you realize? Yeah, I never used scales, but I needed it as a tool for what I'm doing, because my system, because I seem to be one of those 10% exceptions to the rule, which you may be too. That's why I bought, because I wanted to make sure I was spot on with my calorie intake so that I wasn't eating too much, because I had to estimate what my weight was, which I was within 2 pounds, actually 1 pound of knowing what my weight was, just assuming. So anyway, I went on keto the second time, and when I do something, I do it. I don't mess around with it. I just did it. So about the 5th month in, I noticed my clothes were really fitting weird. And it's like, what? I was starting to get mad because I was having to cinch things up, and it didn't occur to me I was losing weight because I didn't expect to. Because I didn't before. I thought, no, I'm not going to lose weight. I just feel better on it. So that's why another reason I was so strict, because I knew that the grains and the sugar were harming me, made me feel like crap. So anyway, I was doing it. I have to see a picture of myself because I did a show with this other person on PSP. Excuse me. And I saw a recent picture of myself next to an older picture of myself that was like 6 or 8 months old. And I was shocked. It's like, oh my God, what happened? And my face was different. And my hair was, it's like, what happened? What's going on? And I realized I'd been losing weight. I had no clue. Can you believe it? I had no freaking clue. That's how dimmy I am. And so I got down from triple X, I got down to a medium size in clothes. I was wearing shirts and stuff I bought hoping I would ever fit into them someday because I liked them. And I did. I started fitting into clothes. As a matter of fact, some of the clothes I bought that I really liked that I couldn't even get up on my arms, they were loose on me. I'd lost a lot of weight fairly quickly on that. And I went along with that. And I'd been doing that ever since. And so, but every once in a while I'd have a cheat meal. Or I'd sit here and I'd eat keto snack type things. And at some point I thought, I think I'm gaining weight on that, so I got to quit eating it. So I put it away for a while, but I didn't lose the weight after putting it away. So obviously that wasn't what it was, but I thought it might be. And it was different little stressors came along. And last year in August 4th, my cat disappeared, my little baby kitty. I was so attached to him. I remember thinking, oh, you shouldn't get so attached to this cat. You know, they don't live that long. And I remember thinking that, but no, I got to do it. He's such a, anyway. Yeah, we're like, oh, he was such a cutie pie. Everybody that saw him around me, oh, he loves you so much. I said, yeah, I love him too. He's such a sweetie. Well, he disappeared, just vanished. And usually he'd come in my bedroom and sleep. Well, the door was shut. And he thought when the door shut or when he thought it was my car's gone, he thinks I'm gone, or he thought I was gone. And he'd go out by the gate and wait for me. I remember I got up the next day. This happened like 2 weeks before. My bedroom door was shut because I only let him, he was the only one that could come in my bedroom. I didn't let Hoff in there. And he tried to get in apparently, and I slept through it. And he went out by the gate. The next morning when I got up, went outside, he saw me and came running to me, meowing, which he was a very quiet cat. And it was like, oh, I felt so bad. He was out waiting for me he thought I was gone. So he sat out there all night waiting for me to come home. Because if I left the house to go to town and get groceries, I'd come home and he'd be right by the gate waiting for me to come in. I'd open the gate and he'd hop in my car and we'd ride to the house and he'd be all over me. Oh, I'm so glad you're back. But it happened again the second time. And I saw him on the camera at 5 o'clock in the morning running to the gate. And I never saw him again. He ran over towards the gate. And I got up at 7, 2 hours later, and he wasn't around. I thought, no, he's probably out running or whatever. I never thought about it. He was usually in the house with me, but I thought, hey, he might be outside going to the bathroom. Never saw that kitty cat again. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know. I walked around the property. There was no hair, no blood. I don't know if somebody picked him up. It's 5 in the morning. He could have been sitting out there and somebody walked, because we have a lot of people that walk early in the morning. Somebody could have picked him. I never found out. And I told God, I said, well, if somebody has them, let them take care of them. But I went through deep mourning for that little kitty. I just hoped that he wasn't being hurt, because we have Satanists around here, and I was hoping that something like that didn't happen to him. I thought, maybe he was going to die. Maybe he had a disease that I didn't know about, and it would have crushed me to have to take care of him, bury him, and all that stuff. I thought, well, God's doing me a favor. Because along the time went by, I put posters everywhere. I knocked on doors. And there were a couple other cats that disappeared at that same time. I think the same weekend, as a matter of fact. Could have been a predator, I guess. But, you can't imagine. But I felt guilty because the door was almost always open. It was only open for him to come in, then I would shut it. But for some reason, it was shut, and I don't remember why. I don't know if the wind blew it shut, what happened, but it was shut. And if it wasn't for that, he would never have left. He would never have gone out there looking for me. It wouldn't have happened. But yeah, so that guilt was with me for a long time. I think just when I started this diet, the carnivore diet, I was finally able to kind of suppress the guilt and the horrible feelings. But I started gaining weight. And I gained, well, I'm back up to, I don't know what size I am, probably a 14, which is probably an extra large. But I've been gaining weight. I was gaining weight the first month. I gained a little bit. Last month, I gained more. And part of it was probably stressing about not losing weight, because I expected to at least lose something. I knew I might gain because I did a reverse diet thing too, but I should have lost weight on that, and I didn't. So I knew something was haywire. I quit eating the dairy. I quit drinking coffee. I lost, smells funny. It smells like old weeds. So anyway, the stress from the kitty is what triggered my weight gain again. So even though I was doing keto and not changing anything with my meals, but I was eating the same way, I gained weight on keto. So I thought, well, when I heard that Bill was doing carnivore, and then Jill came back into my life. We've known each other forever. I don't remember how it happened, but she told me her story about she was doing carnivore and she had magnificent results. And I was thinking, wow, okay, two people doing carnivore that I know, that's crazy. Uh, but I remember thinking, well, I wonder, because I knew the keto wasn't working anymore. And at the time, I didn't realize, I forgot all about keto. I didn't realize, I didn't put the two together of that stress with my carnivore, stress with my weight gain. I didn't put it together. I didn't put two and two together until probably 2 weeks ago, maybe three. I think it was more like two though. It's like, oh, the stressor. It was a stressor that did it. It was the stress. So once that light bulb there came on, I was like, okay, so I got to work on stress. And stress causes high insulin. I was listening to these people in the last week, the three doctors talking about insulin, high insulin, and not being able to lose weight until you get it down. Is like, there's my answer. Brent. Um, that was my answer. So now I know if you're, and I would say, Teresa, you have high insulin. Do you have a tummy on you? After menopause, that's also a stress on the body. Things change, and you're probably eating less than you did. I was eating 600 to 800 calories a day. Even with keto, I was doing that. I never ate that much. And I remember going to a doctor, and when I was a size 11, he said, "You're morbidly obese. You need to quit eating so much." I remember that doctor in Florida, I was so pissed at him. It's like, I'm not morbidly obese. I'm overweight. I know that. But a size 11, that's like 150 pounds. I'm 5'7". But he was like, just made me mad. It's like, duh, you think, I don't know. At the time, I thought, eat less, lose weight. No, that's not how it works. Right with some people, but it didn't work that way with me, and it never has. So when you don't eat enough, you won't be able to lose weight because it's a stress on the body. And high insulin from not eating enough. All right. So with carnivore, the biggest thing with keto that it was for me to get over is eating fat. Because on keto, you eat fat. It's a higher fat. It's not high fat. It's higher fat, medium protein, low carb. With carnivore, it's high fat, low carb, moderate protein, I think. You want to keep your fat intake high because that's what makes all your hormones. So why would they give you statins that drop your cholesterol the fat? Yeah, everything, the whole medical industry is rigged against us. And I think the good thing about COVID was it helped people see that. I think a lot of people woke up when that happened. Oh, no, I wouldn't recommend that you eat cheese. You could, I suppose. It's basically, carnivore is basically animal. So like, was it Ken Berry? Is it him that says if it's got a face, you can eat it? No, it's beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. That's a basic carnivore. That's very basic carnivore. You can have seafood. You can have, there are a lot of videos on it. I'll tell you what, this book right here, I bought this. She has a really good explanation of what carnivore is. This is Courtney Luna, and I bought mine off of Amazon. Carnivore in the Kitchen. The very opening. Yeah, if you can tolerate dairy, a lot of people can't. I'm back to eating dairy because when I did my weight, some of these people, if you're an undereater, if you're a chronic undereater like I was, you're going to be fighting eating. My big thing was I had to eat so much all the time. It was too much for me. It's like, because I'll show you what I did. For me, because I didn't know how much to eat, because they were talking, who's it? Kelly Hogan was the first one I watched, first YouTube thing I watched. Let me pull some of this stuff up so you can see it. Uh-oh. Looks like I'm by myself. Oh, wow, they're gone. That's weird. Kelly Hogan. This gal does carnivore. Okay, here's Kelly right here. Let me pull up her. She started out 15 years ago. This is her before. Let's see if I can. I'm going to try and pause it and see if it'll pause. There we go. Oh, no, it's not. I've got it quiet. I want to see if it goes. Oh, wait, here we go. Right here on a sort. Yeah, I found that eating just lettuce and there, that's her before. When she was in her early 20s, her doctor told her that she was very sick. She had a lot of stuff wrong with her. And if you watch her, she's My Zero Carb Life on YouTube. She talked about the different ailments she had. She had boils, she had horrible skin problems, acne. Um, she named off all the things that were wrong with her. And her doctor said, just eat meat. Stop eating everything else. Just eat meat. And he was way ahead of his time at that time. But let's see what she's saying here. Let me rewind it a little bit.
Hey, I just got this question. Would it kill you to eat a normal diet, sis? Like a salad? Do you think one donut will make you fat again? Why me? Love this question. I totally avoid all fiber because I used to have awful as symptoms. Oh my gosh. And now that is completely gone without fiber. I also used to get really big bumps on my skin that were called boils. And I would have to have them lanced and drained at a doctor's office, and now I don't get them at all. Before changing my diet, I had chronic acne and it was on Accutane. If I eat soy or wheat, even now if it's in a sauce, I get immediate leg cramps and anxiety. I avoid all sweet tastes because I used to be a crazy sugar addict and now I'm not. I avoid all precious foods because they overrode my satiety signals and they're also awful for our gut lining. So yeah, I definitely tried a normal diet. I tried pretty much every diet, including plant-based. By the way, when none of that worked for me, then carnivore. Hey.
Yeah, so that's Kelly. And she's been doing it for 15 years. She's 47, I think, now. But I noticed that I was getting really bad gut cramps from eating plant-based foods. And all I was eating by the time I went carnivore on Easter this year, I would get random bouts of severe irritable bowel, gut cramps, to where I was almost passing out. It was really bad. And since I've been doing carnivore, I don't get that anymore, which is pretty amazing. But she's good to follow. Um, this guy here, Dr. Bickman, he talks about burning fat. It's both insulin. It's the insulin. Let me see if he says here. Insulin is the signal. Yeah, so he talks. This is a hour video. I'll put it back out in chat again. Dr. Boz. I'll find Dr. Boz's talk too. But Dr. Boz is the one that got me going. See how my face is all puffy? When I got on keto that first time or second time before I got into all the stress, all this went away. My jowls went away. All this went away. Yeah, and I've got lipedema too, which I've always had, but I noticed the lipedema went away when I did it too. See the lumps? See that? This is all lipedema, and you see it here. You can't really see it too good. This hanging skin here, that's all lipedema. I've had this since I was actually before I was 40, but when I got to be 40, it really got bad. But I remember my mom, see this is a dent here. I remember my mom saying, "You've got olive oil elbows." My bone was sticking out and the rest was all fat, like puffed up. It's a puffiness. So you can see here, see this line here? And you can see my wrist, normal size. This is normal size right here. There's no fat. And I did have that's still there, a lump. You can actually feel where it starts. There's a lump. But I've got that here. I've got probably a mild case of lipedema, probably because I've been doing keto so long. But I noticed that when I lost the weight, I didn't have any cellulite on the backs of my legs. I just had the weird lumpy fat stuff. let's see. Pull up my, where am I here? Oh, I am. You get, yeah, you can have bacon, butter. I can't say I never had cravings. I shouldn't say that because there was a few times when I first started doing the beef that I kind of wanted some ketchup or Heinz 57 sauce on it, something. And then I tried, somebody said, well, eat it with butter. So I started taking slabs, like I'd take a couple tablespoons of butter, put it on my plate, put the meat on there with it, chop up the meat, and for each forkful, I'd take like a little 1/4 inch square of butter and put on it and eat it. And that's actually better than ketchup or anything else. It's really good. Yeah, bacon I like in the morning because I am doing, some people say don't do dairy. So I did quit it for like a month, but I didn't notice a difference. So I started again yesterday. But I would make because I need to get, oh, let me show you my Fitness Pal so I can show you what I'm doing. This helps. And you're an under eater, I'll bet. If you're eating once a day trying to lose weight, that's not going to help. That's going to make it worse. So this is my Fitness Pal. That's what it's called. Let me pull this up here. myfitnesspal.com. And you go in here and you enter it's free. There's a paid version too, but this is free. It'll pull up automatically the day, usually. You put in your weight, your height, and a few other things. And it will tell you how many, for your weight and height, how many calories to maintain the current weight you have, how many calories to eat. And this is what you need to, okay, let me show you yesterday. How's that? Or day before yesterday. Yeah, here we go. This is what I had. And I was just stuffed. I was eating for me, I felt too full. But I had butter I guess it was Thursday that I started doing dairy. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. Thursday I started doing dairy again. So I'd have 2 cups of coffee in the morning. Each one I would put, normally I would put a tablespoon of butter in it. And then when I was back on dairy, I would put 2 tablespoons of cream in it because I like coffee and cream. And then I would have 2 tablespoons of butter or cream in my eggs. I would mix the eggs up, scramble them, add 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of cream, and then I would cook light. I didn't like them dry. I like them very almost raw, but not quite, just at the edge of being raw. So because that's when all the EFAs are still in them. And I would cook those, and you just log what you had. They don't have coffee. They might have coffee with cream. I don't know, but I just have coffee black, and then I would add the cream here. So I had 2 tablespoons of cream in my 2 coffees, and I had 2 tablespoons of cream in my eggs. And I had 4 tablespoons of butter. I'm guessing I must have put 2 tablespoons in each cup of coffee. Then for lunch, I had chuck steak, and I fried it in butter. And you want to pour that butter and all that juice on top of the steak when you eat it, or eat it with it. I must have had, yeah, I had 2 cups of coffee and 2 tablespoons of cream. So that's where the 4 tablespoons of cream came from. And that's what I had. My daily goal, my maintenance calories are 1,610. And they recommend you get to your maintenance calories and stay there. And then you can drop off a little bit. But I did this because I was eating 600 to 800 calories a day. And you'll never lose weight. And down here, you hover over this, 68% fat. The goal is between 70 and 90. That was close. I wasn't too worried about it. But the butter helped me get up there, and so did the cream, to get my fat goal in. Because fat is more important than anything on this diet, I think. But I buy this chuck steak at Costco. And it's not steak. I can buy a chuck roast at Costco and cut it up. I slice it up. It's like, I paid $38 a piece yesterday. It's a big hunk of meat, and I just slice it up into steak-sized servings, like long, narrow steak-sized serving. 11 ounces is 674 calories, and that's what I had. So sometimes I'll enter things in to see where I'm at calorie-wise, because this is me. Not everybody does this. Some people, like, they just start eating. They eat meat, and they eat bacon, and they just eat when they're hungry, and then when they're full, they stop. and then I eat it, but I'm not like that. I don't get hungry. Generally, I don't get hungry and I don't eat enough. So this thing is what I had to do. This is what I had to do in order to make sure I was consistently eating enough and then possibly not eating too much, which I don't think I would eat too much, but I was afraid I was. So this is what I did. So this is my daily goal. I ate 1,567, which means I should be a slight calorie deficit. I should be losing weight. We'll see what happens with this. But anyway, so that was Thursday. Yesterday I went to Spokane. So I had 2 cups of coffee, black coffee with 2 tablespoons of cream each. I had 2 eggs with 2 tablespoons of cream and scrambled them. Had 3 pieces of bacon and 2 tablespoons of butter. I don't remember what I put the butter. Oh, it was, I think I put one of them on the egg. Can't remember now. And then I had for lunch when I got home, I was actually getting hungry. I ate at 10:30 and I got home around 4. And I was kind of hungry, and I had 2 mild Italian sausage links they were from Costco. And then I had for supper, I had a cup of my homemade El Ruderai yogurt with 2 tablespoons of cream. And I had 1,363 calories, and I should have had 1,610 to maintain. And here's my fat content, good fat content, 78%. So the butter helps kick that up because 2 tablespoons is 200 calories. Normally, most people don't count calories, but I have a hunch you may have to. And if you do, this is really good. MyFitnessPal.com. That's a good way to do it. A good way to do it. Now, where's my YouTube at? Oh, you love butter. That's awesome. So you've got insulin resistance, and I know if you've got a tummy, you've got insulin resistance. Butter is your buddy on this. You eat a lot of butter on this diet. And if you have a Costco card, all the better because they have probably the best prices on butter. You can get Amish butter. It's really tasty, but the Costco butter is good. And they have Kerrygold sales everywhere. I bought Kerrygold just to take a slice off and have a bit. Like if you get a craving for something, take like a butter pat size piece and put it on your tongue, or take half of it and kind of eat it and let it melt. And that'll help with cravings. You want your fat content needs to be high because that's what makes your hormones and makes you feel better. But also, everybody recommends you do a little bit of exercise after every meal, which can be getting up and walking around the house. And when you start feeling better, you're going to start walking more. It just comes with the territory. As you start feeling better, your energy levels will start coming up. Yes, I'm so glad you love butter. It's got CLA in it. I'm trying to think what linoleic acid, which actually helps you lose weight and keep it off. They did Danish studies. I think this is like 40 years ago. I discovered this, maybe more. That people, it was in a Scandinavian country. They were given a bunch of butter to eat with their food, and they lost a whole bunch of weight and kept it off. And even though they changed their diet back to what it was before, they kept their weight off just from eating that. They had enough congelinic, I think how you say it, something, linoleic acid. But something to take if you're like me, you need to be taking EFAs, essential fatty acids. I'm taking vitamin C, extra vitamin C. These 2 things help with the insulin resistance. I'm doing now again eating allulose. They say to avoid sweet tasting things because it could trigger you to crave sweets. There's a list. I mean, you need, as I talk to people on here, you'll kind of get the idea, and you get to where you kind of experiment on yourself, but avoid sweet things, at least for the first month. I did stevia, but I didn't crave sweet stuff. I just did it because I like stevia pop. It's no calorie, but some people have a problem with it. And then one of the doctors that I listened to yesterday, Dr. Boz, I think, said, tasting, even the taste of something sweet can raise your insulin. And I thought, okay, I guess I'm going to quit doing stevia. And I kind of missed that. I like the stevia because I've been doing it for years. It's like a bummer. But then yesterday, listening to the doctor, he said doing allulose, which is a type of natural sugar, but it doesn't act like sugar in the body. Allulose will actually drop your insulin. So now I'm doing allulose as kind of an experiment this month to see how I do with it. There is margarine. Land O'Lakes does make butter, I think, real butter. You'd have to look and make sure it's just cream. It should say cream. Um, but if you buy Land O'Lakes, it's fairly expensive. If you have a Costco and can get it at Costco, do it. If not, I know that if you can buy the Amish butter, it comes like in a big roll. It's pretty tasty. I'll show you something I did with butter because you weren't here when I showed it. To get my allulose, I took 2 sticks of butter, put them in this bowl, and I whipped it with egg beaters. That was just this morning. I used salted butter before and it was too salty. The Costco butter is way too salty. But I do buy Costco butter because it's cheaper than anything I can get. But I put vanilla and powdered allulose in here and made buttercream frosting with. And when I ate cupcakes for cake, I always ate the frosting. I didn't care for the cake. I wanted the frosting. Lucky, because this is a buttercream frosting. So good. I don't think I used enough allulose. I might need to put more in there, but it's sweet. And the allulose is supposed to help my insulin resistance drop. That's a win-win if it works. We're going to find out. I'll be letting you know. Because my weight's not going off because I still have pretty raging insulin resistance, which I didn't understand until this week. But it did work. I mean, the keto worked for me, but it just took a long time to get my body to kick in and get that insulin down on keto. So it may be the same with you. So good. It's light, fluffy, and light. And butter will last on your counter if it's covered, doesn't have access to air. So probably I'm going to leave that out because I'll probably eat it all before. But I'll probably eat like a tablespoon of this a day or so. I'm not really craving sweets. That's something your cravings won't hit you. If you look into carnivore, your cravings, I never had them really. But some people do. And usually within the first week, they're gone. If you can stick with it and just eat, just don't eat any plants. And I'll tell you what, towards the end of my keto thing before I started carnivore, I wasn't wanting, like I'd have a salad because I thought, oh, I should have salad. It's good for me. I'd chop up those little sweet peppers, 1 or 2 of those on my salad, and a couple of boiled eggs. Boiled eggs are going to be your friend too. What else? Oh, and sometimes I would put like a Roma tomato, which is kind of high carb. I don't know why I was doing that. I guess for variety and color. And I would eat it. Sometimes I would put celery on it, but not very often. And celery would rot away in my fridge. I would buy, I can't tell you how many heads of I would cook cabbage. I would sometimes cut cabbage up into the green lettuce to give it some crunch, just for variety. But I'd buy cauliflower thing. Oh, I'll make some cauliflower rice. I don't mind cauliflower steamed and broccoli steamed, but I never did it. I just never, they would rot away in my fridge and I'd have to throw them out. And that was about the only vegetables. Oh, I'd have onions. I don't know why I did because I don't like them and I don't know what I put them on or in, but I had them. Well, that's what I have, a salad. I have maybe once a week I'd have a salad, but for the most part, everything went bad before I ate it. And so when I started carnivore, it wasn't super hard for me because I just wasn't eating that many vegetables. Maybe a can of beans once in a while with some butter on them. I just wasn't doing it. So for me, it was kind of easy. For you, it might be a little bit harder because you're starting cold turkey if you do it. But the first week, you'll notice within a couple of days, you'll sleep like a baby. I noticed that if I had sugar, the few times when I would have sugar, like if I thought, oh, it's not going to hurt, I'll just have one, like I'll buy a cupcake, buy a couple cupcakes, because I always ate the frosting off. It wasn't the cake I wanted, it was the frosting. And maybe once every 2 months, I would do that. But I noticed I wasn't sleeping. That night, I wouldn't sleep. And my mind wouldn't shut down. It kept racing, and I could not sleep. So I realized it was the excitotoxins and the sugar were messing with my brain big time, my brain chemistry. But yeah, if you're lucky, you like Land O'Lakes because you can. Some people they'll take a bite of butter, and if you're one of those people, that's great. That's really great. Some people do a day where they only eat butter. Excuse me. I couldn't do that. At least at this juncture in my life. Maybe a month from now I'll be able to. Excuse me. But really, yeah, just a bite of butter doesn't sound I've done it. Sometimes they say do it before you go to sleep. Have like a tablespoon of butter before you go to bed, and it's supposed to help. I don't know with what, but it's supposed to help. Okay. Oh, excuse me. So let's see. Yeah, if you're going to do it, look into it, do some research. Buy Courtney's book. I think I paid $14 for this, which I don't usually pay that much for. I buy my books used usually, but this was my ex told me about it. He bought it, Carnivore in the Kitchen. He had bought it. In the very beginning, it tells you the different types of carnivore diets there are. There's ketovore, there's carnivore, but she explains what each one is and what you can eat on that particular one. Um, she did a good job. Okay, the types of meat-based diets. There's carnivore, lion, animal-based, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, or ketovore. And she explains what they are. I'll tell you the lion diet is only meat and fat from ruminant animals plus salt and water. So cows, sheep, what else? Goats, maybe? I can't remember. There's ruminant animals. That's only meat you can eat on that particular diet. I could not do that. Not my wheelhouse for that. I knew I lost weight on keto, so I know I can lose weight on this. And I think I'll lose it probably and be in better shape from doing this because I'll have more fat. Carnivore. Oh, what's going on? Suddenly my nose left there. I've got I took away my nose. Okay, red meat. This is carnivore. Red meat, which is beef, pork, lamb, organ meat, uh, poultry, seafood, eggs, dairy, and salt. And that's your basic carnivore. So I can take like I bought cod at Costco and I bought shrimp, which on Fridays I tend to do this. Don't know why it just works out this way. If I've eaten a lot of meat that day and I need to get a few calories because you can't eat too few. Even though I'm supposed to be eating 1,600 a day to keep my weight where it is. Um, I try not to get it up that high, just to have a couple hundred under that. But if I've got like, say I've only eaten 1,200 calories and that's way too low. That is really too low. There's a window. You need to have that window. So I would cook up seafood. I would have the shrimp and cod, which I'd fry in a pan and then with butter and a little bit of salt. And that would be like 200 calories, 150 calories, and it's really good. And it doesn't get you filled up so much that you're sick, but it's a good lunch. It's a light lunch, but the cod's really good for you. The shrimp is tasty if you like shrimp. I will start Monday and let you guys know how I'm doing. Gotta go. Oh, you bet. Yeah, if you can get this book, it'll help the guidelines in here. She gives you recipes, amazing recipes. The ones I've tried have been pretty good. So if you do it, and I'm doing this every Saturday. So come in. I'll be here for at least an hour or two doing this on Saturdays. This is my diary, my video diary. So I'm glad you were here. It's good seeing you again. You have a good week. Love you guys. I love you too. Oh, my nose is all of a sudden. Oh, weird. So anyway, I've been on for 2 hours already. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. This one side is running. Oh, I'm allergy. So anyway, that is that. I can't think of anything else to talk about really. I'm gonna watch the parade. I'm looking forward to this stuff down here going away because I've got my camera set up high looking down at me, so it's much worse than it looks. If I had it face level, you'd be seeing the big old jowls like Elmer Fudd jowls and the light. But I want to show you guys really what I look like. This is me. So that when this all starts tightening up, then you can see what I would look like normally without all the blabs, all the flappy blabs. So hopefully in the next month I'll maybe start. It might be another 4 months. It might be 4 months. It might be the same as it was with keto. We're gonna find out. It could be. I don't know. I don't know. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm looking forward to my hair getting. I've got a lot of gray streaks in it. Oddly enough, I'm gonna get it colored. What day? I don't know. Sometime in July. First, I think the 9th of July. I'm getting my hair. I'm gonna get it streaked up here. I only do top half. Get a heavy streak up here. I got it cut so I don't have to worry about that anymore. It's looking healthier, but I'm looking forward to getting, because my hair is super wavy right now, super wavy. It was like big waves. And what's happening is my body is sucking the nutrients out of my hair. And as it does that, the hair kind of shrinks up a little bit. And so it starts doing this wave thing. But now it's like, so if I got my hair cut short, I'd have like a poodle do because my hair is getting so kinked out. Uh, I'm glad she likes butter. That's awesome. Uh, she's probably used to eating comfort foods and stuff, which everybody does get there because you don't realize your food's toxic. You don't know it. You don't realize there's poison in it. So anyway, yeah, I don't know if I got anything else to say. I might come on, I don't know, just to say, just to blab. I don't know. We'll see. If I start, I did do the scale, and the first day was, I had it was it 3 days, 2 days ago, and I was 200 pounds on the spot. Oh, there you are. You let your hair grow up. That'd be great. I told myself I would never do it, but everybody likes it better. It's more of a white. White is pretty. White is pretty. Oh yeah, I'll watch Carrie tonight too. Did you send that to my email address, Jill? Thank you for doing that. Um, yeah, is your hair getting, as it's getting white, is it getting wavy? Jill, her hair, she showed me a picture of herself from the back before she did Carnivore a year and a half ago. A little more than that, isn't it? Yeah, it's 17 months ago. 18, I don't remember how long it's been. But from the back, her hair was very frizzy. And there was a front light in front of her, and you could actually see the outline of her head because her hair looked like it was thin, but it was very salt, more salt than pepper, and it was very light and fluffy and light colored. And you could see, I mean, from the back and her shape and everything. And then now, when you see her now, her hair is smooth. There's no kinks in it. Oh, you like it wearing curly? Hers is smooth now, and it's getting dark again. The white's going away because she's getting the nutrients out of the meat, so her hair is dekinking. It's not. It's going to be, the cuticle's going to lay down. Yeah, mine. I got it cut, but I just keep it. I don't like it in my face. I got a butterfly cut, so it's right now if I let it loose because my bangs are catching up with the sides. So I was cutting my bangs. My hair stopped growing for a while, so it's slow moving right now. But anyway, you put loose in it. Yeah. Well, you'll start liking. I think you're going to start liking. My hair got kind of. It was like coarse. My hair was getting really coarse, and I'd pull like a piece would come out, and it would be wiry. And it took me a while to realize that's what's going on. Is your body is sucking the nutrients out because you're not eating anything that it can use. But with this, the fat, your body needs that fat to make hormones. And then the meat, the beef has nutrients like B vitamins and iron and all kinds of stuff that your body needs. So your body's gonna be like, yeah, that's pretty good stuff. And it'll start letting your hair get those nutrients. This is a nutrient, this is like a bank. This is your nutrient bank, your hair is. And your nutrients in there are for extreme emergencies. You see women go through menopause, well, they're not eating, the fat stores aren't, they think, oh, I'm gaining weight, I gotta eat less fat, I gotta eat less. And their body starts to starve itself. And so it starts taking all the nutrients out of the hair because it's not getting it from the food. And my mom ate really well. She had lots of vitamins, she ate super good food. And she was in her 80s and she didn't have any, I think she had like a few, I have more gray hair right now than she had. So, and I just started getting the gray hair in the last year, really bad. It's like, I don't know if you can see it. Maybe don't get used to it. It's going away. So, anyway, yeah, your hair should get back to it. But I used to have super thick. I've lost COVID. COVID knocked me down pretty good too. I had it twice, even though it was only for 1 day the first time and 2 days the second time. It messed up. I lost a lot of hair. 18 months, a year and a half. Woo-hoo! Yeah, you had frizzy straw-like hair. I didn't want to insult you by saying it was frizzy straw-like, but I could tell by looking at it. I just didn't want to make it. But yeah, you can tell from the picture you showed me. It was fluffy. Yeah, it was crazy. Yes, your color is getting darker and it's soft. Yeah, and that's your natural oils are coming out of your follicles and it's getting the nutrients back. I'll be looking, I'll be happy to get rid of these. People with severe thyroid, their mouths will go down at the sides like mine are, and that's just severe cortisol issues. You'll see the sad face. That is all cortisol, thyroid. Looking forward to that going away. 18 months. And look at it now. Look at it now. So I'm gonna go check my thing and see what time does Carrie come on, do you know? I caught him the other day by accident. I was glad I did. Because I want to watch the parade. That should be, oh, that's gonna start up within the next 10 minutes, I think. I've got to get out of here. I'll check. So hopefully Carrie comes on after the parade. Anyway, I'm going to cut you guys loose. Give me a thumbs up if you think about it out there. That helps people see this. Maybe help them out a little bit. Got 5 people watching. Hello, hello. Oh, I'm in talk chat. No wonder I can't see anything. Put on live chat. Oh, you texted me the link. Let me see if it came through. Your texts have not been coming through. I haven't heard it go off, but yesterday I got texts and it didn't make a noise. Let me see. Oh, it came through. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Let me see. I'll connect just so I can see what it's under. Okay. Let's see more. In today's video, Jen and Carrie are going to share a step by. Hey, Teresa. Yes, I am still on Patriot Soapbox. Teresa, let me see if I can get a video for you. You need to see this. It's for beginners, carnivore beginners. Let me see if I can grab it for you. YouTube. It'll be a live stream, so you can ask questions out in chat. They may or may not see you because they'll have a lot of people. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, there's Carrie. I'm going to pull up his. It's this guy here. Oops, let me share it. You guys. This is Carrie. Oops, we got here. Healing him in. There it is. Homestead How. Let's see, live. Has he got it listed? He's going to be doing, okay, right here. Going to be doing a live stream at 5:15 my time. I'm not sure what time zone you're in. But there you go. There's a link, and it is, okay. Let's pull it up. Okay, and here's the chat room on the side if you want to use it. Carnivore for Beginners. And Jill knows him. She was just with him last weekend. Right here it says, in today's video, Jen and Carrie are going to share a step-by-step beginner's guide to the carnivore diet, what we've learned. I've interviewed hundreds of carnivores, and from over 2 years of doing it myself, we're doing this live and we'll be taking feedback, advice, tips from the audience along the way. Our goal is to help anyone who's just starting out on their carnivore journey. And that is courtesy of Jill. Thank you for that. Yeah, he's got lots of links out there. And he's on Homestead How. He's got 320,000 subscribers. He's going to be live in 110 minutes. So yeah, I gave you the link out there, and I'll be there 6:24 your time. Okay, well, I'm going to cut it loose here, and thanks everybody for being with me today. Appreciate it. And I'll see you next Saturday. I might come on in the middle of the week or something. I don't know. Might even come on tomorrow. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But I am going to cut it off because I'm going to go watch President Trump's big thing. So thanks for being with me. I appreciate it. You all. Much love to y'all. See you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, I guess you're not. Let me share so you can see me say goodbye. I don't want to share the screen. I'm sharing. Oh, that's right. I don't have to do that. Cool. Coolio. Stop share. There we go. There's a lag. It's a really bad lag now, but bye bye.